All right, all right, all right. What's up, everybody? Oh. I had the stream open. Okay, so we got some work to do. We are going to go through the entire rest of the standard foundations playset. So these will be constructed legal cards, but they will not be draftable. So we're going to do the same thing that we did. We're going to go through white. We're going to go through all the colors. We're going to go through all the colors. This should be a little bit faster than what we did the other ones because I'm not going to have to give them draft ranks. I'm not going to have to give them a bunch of stuff. And then we'll go from there. I'm tired. Okay. Okay. Getting everything ready. Everything's ready. Let's do the thing, and then we're going to set this up so I can click on it. And then we're going to do this. Mouse is going to be over here. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Foundations 2.0 set review, I guess. So the first Foundation set review that we did was for the draftable set. So the limited available and constructed available set found in the play boosters. So that will work for draft and sealed events. But then there's the whole other part of like direct to constructed part of foundations that will not be part of the play boosters. So these are standard legal cards. So we'll definitely want to review them as a competitive player. But they're not really going to get a rating. They're not going to, we'll kind of cruise through a lot of them. There will be a lot of reprints. But we'll take a look at each one, kind of see where they're at, what they are, and then so we'll try to stop on some of the ones that we think are going to potentially make it into standard. But I just still want to go through them, take a look at them, and share my thoughts and opinions. And then we're going to cruise through all the colors again, just like we did last time. We'll cover the white, the blue, the black, the green, the red, the multicolored, the colorless, and there might even be some lands in there that we're going to go take a look at too. So this is first impression. So this is a raw look at these on my behalf. I have not seen them before. I will be looking at them for the first time while going through them with you. So this is sort of fun for me to at least review the cards and see what we're getting into for the standard season or for the next 5 years. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into white. We are going to do it similar as to what we did it last time. This will be ordered in ascending CMC cost as well as ascending increasing or ascending, increasing rarity. So we'll look at commons first, uncommons, moving into rares, and then finally mythics for each of the colors. So let's go ahead, jump right into Hinterland Sanctifier. It's a 1 white creature, rabbit, cleric, 1/2. It's 1/2 for one. You might maybe see it. We do see some rabbit decks, the Selesnya rabbit decks. So this might make it into that sort of tribe deck. But outside of that, it's okay. It might make it into a life gain deck. I've seen some black, white, Orzhov like bat life gain decks that it might make it into, but it is kind of what it is. Moment of Triumph is 1 white. It's an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. You gain 2 life. It's an okay combat trick. There's just better stuff out there, in all honesty. But you may or may not see it if somebody's looking for some extra buffs. Maybe we see like a Boros aggro deck where they need just extra instants. They might take advantage of that. But outside of that, nothing super exciting there. Deadly Repose. Or Repose is 1 colorless, 1 white instant. Deadly Repose deals 3 damage to target tapped creature and you gain 3 life. So this is, or gain 2 life. So this is a more expensive like Elspeth's Smite. So I doubt we're going to see it. It's just too expensive for what it does. Bishop's Soldier, 1 colorless, 1 white creature vampire soldier. It has lifelink 2/2. A little expensive for what it is. Might make it into a tribe deck. You could definitely put it into a tribe, vampire tribe, like commander deck. Makes sense there. Adamant Will is 1 colorless, 1 white. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains indestructible until end of turn. A little too slow for standard play. There's other cheaper protection spells out there that we're going to see. Again, maybe in a Boros aggro deck if they're looking for some buffs, but again at 2 CMC it's just a little too expensive. Ballyrush Banneret, 1 colorless, 1 white creature Kithkin soldier, 2/1 Kithkin spells and soldier spells you cast 1 less to cast. Interesting. So definitely could fit into like a tribe commander deck. I'm not too familiar with Kithkin, but somebody might yell at me that it should be well known, but I don't know it. Felidar Cub, 1 colorless, 1 white creature cat beast. Sacrifice this creature, destroy target enchantment. Interesting. I mean, a 2/2 for 2 is not terrible, but there's just better bodies to be had out there. And then you have to sacrifice this to destroy target enchantment. I doubt we'll see this in standard play. Again, you could probably put it into like a tribal commander deck. Disenchant, 1 colorless, 1 white, destroy artifact or enchantment. We might see some play there. Yeah, we could definitely see some standard play there. It's a 2 CMC instant for target artifact and enchantment. So definitely something that you can get ahead of a trigger, or as soon as it hits the board or something like that, you can take out the artifact or enchantment. Pacifism. Pacifism already sees play or something similar to that. Is it Pacifism directly? Pacifism used to be in standard. I think it still is in standard. So it does see some play. Might fit into an enchantment deck or an aura deck where it counts enchantments you own. And plus it takes something out. I would definitely say we would probably see that in standard. Inspiring Overseer is a 2 colorless, 1 white creature angel cleric flying. When creatures enter, you gain 1 life and you draw a card. It's a 2/1. I have seen this in some like angel decks, but it's been a really long time since I've seen a competitive angel deck. I'm thinking back to like my old standard ranked days in Arena, like 3 years ago, 2 years ago. So you may see something, but I doubt we're going to see a lot of play out of this. Crusader of Odric is 2 colorless, 1 white creature human soldier. Crusader of Odric's power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. So this could go well in like a knight's deck or like a humans deck that goes, or soldier deck. Probably a humans deck. We already have a mono white human, so this could potentially see some play in there. Angelic Edict is 4 colorless, 1 white sorcery, exile target creature or enchantment. It's just a little too expensive. I don't think we're going to see it. Leonin Vanguard, 1 white. So this that ends our uncommons and now, or commons. Now we're moving into uncommon. And so our first uncommon that we see in white is 1 white for Leonin Vanguard. I don't know how to say that. Creature cat soldier. It's a 1/1 at the beginning of combat on your turn. If you control 3 or more creatures, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn and you gain 1 life. You could potentially see this in a humans deck, but it would be a wasted slot. Maybe a soldier, like a mono white soldier deck it would fit into because it also fits that archetype. So you could maybe see this in that, but that's all. Elspeth's Smite, this is what we're talking about. Elspeth Smite deals 3 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile instead. So it's a 1-cost exile. They're like, this is the status quo. We see this today. This is going to continue to be prevalent for the next 5 years. 1 cost, 3 damage, exile. So even if you did damage to something and then now you want to exile it, like this is what you want to use. Dawnwing Marshal, 1 colorless, 1 white. It's a 2/2 creature cat soldier, flying, and then you can pay 4 colors on white. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn, and you can do that multiple times. I think it's just too expensive to see in standard play, honestly, even in a soldier deck. Knight of Grace, 1. Is it a cat? It is a cat. It could go into like a, there's some spicy things you could do with a cat deck. Knight of Grace is 1 colorless, 1 white creature, human knight. It's a 2/2. It has first strike, hexproof from black, and this creature gets +1/+0 as long as any player controls a black permanent. Maybe, yeah. Human knight deck. Could potentially see it. Mono white humans. Valeris Stance, 1 white or 1 colorless, 1 white instant. Choose 1. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. Yeah, we could potentially see this as removal, having you choice, protect a card or destroy a card is always nice. That 4 threshold starts to get you into some of the spicy demon thresholds that you see out there. It's with toughness 4 or greater. So yeah, so you're like your 6/6 demons, your Shieldrids. You could potentially see this. The problem is the 4 or greater, I think, will probably make it so you're not going to see it, just because there are a lot of threats that are under 4 toughness. Devout Decree, 1 colorless, 1 white, exile target creature or planeswalker that's black or red. Scry 1. Potentially. So mono red aggro is going to be a problem. We have Dimir Demons. We have Dimir midrange. We have Golgari is going to be a problem. So we are seeing a lot of black and red issues. So having an exile ability in a white deck might not be too bad. Leonin Skyhunter is a 2 white creature cat knight flying for 2/2. Probably not going to see this played. Make a stand. 2 colors, 1 white, instant. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain indestructible until end of turn. Maybe. I think it's too expensive, though. Stasis Snare, 1 colorless, 2 white, enchantment, flash. When this enchantment enters, exile target creature an opponent controls until that enchantment leaves the battlefield. I think it's too expensive to see play, but potentially. It's target creature, so it's not non-land permanent. It's target creature, so I don't think it's universal enough, and I think it's a little too expensive. Angel of Vitality, 2 colorless, 1 white. It's a creature angel, 2/2 flying. You gain life. You gain that much life +1. This creature gets +2/+2 as long as you have 25 more life. Again. So the funny thing is it says 25 or more life. So commander right away. Like you start with 40. So this thing is a 4/4 flying for 3 and you gain life. So yeah, put it in your commander deck. Twin Blade Paladin is a 3 colorless, 1 white creature, human knight, 3/3. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on this creature as long as you have 25 or more life. Again, commander deck. Maybe in a life gain deck, but there's not really any popular life gain decks that I know about in competitive standard. Again, my barometer is really sort of like the World Championship, top 16. There is mono white humans, so maybe, but it's still a little too expensive for that. Prayer of Binding is 3 colorless, 1 white. It's enchantment with flash, and when this enchantment enters, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent and opponent controls until this enchantment leaves. It's too expensive. Release the Dogs, 3 colorless, 1 white. Sorcery, create 4 1/1 white dog creature tokens. I'd love this in my my dog command. I need to make one. I want to make a dog commander deck. But yeah, make myself a bunch of dogs. Would be pretty sweet. I like this guy. This guy up front. Look at him. Look at him. He's so stoked. He's so stoked to be part of the crew. Look at him. You just got these absolute fucking powerhouses behind him, and you got this little one out front. He's like, I'm in it. I'm in it. I don't know what we're excited about, but I'm in it. The little one got me. The little one got me. All right, Herald of Herald of Faith, 3 colorless, 2 white. It's a creature angel 4/3. Whenever this creature attacks, you gain 2 life. You're not going to see this in constructed. Sir Alan, the Lion's Claw, 3 colorless, 2 whites, legendary creature, human knight, first strike. When Sire Alan attacks other creatures you control, get +1/+1 until end of turn. It's a 4/4. It could potentially make a commander. There's more powerful knight commanders out there, but you're not going to see this in competitive play. Even in the human deck, it's too slow. It's too expensive. Ingenious Leonin. I don't know. I'm never going to get this word. 4 colorless, 1 white, creature, cat, soldier. It's a 4/4. You can pay 3 colorless and a white, put a 1/1 counter on another target attacking creature you control. If that creature is a cat, it gains first strike until end of turn. I would definitely put it in like a cat commander deck. I should make a dogs and cats commander deck is what I really should do. Archway Angel, 5 colorless, 1 white, creature, angel, flying. When this creature enters, you gain 2 life for each gate you control. Yeah, you're definitely not seeing this in... maybe put it in your angel deck. I don't know what a gate is. But yeah, commander deck, maybe. Charming Prince, 1 colorless, 1 white, creature, human, noble. When this creature enters, choose 1, scry 2, gain 3 life, exile another target creature you own, return it to the battlefield under your control at the beginning. So you could, I think this could definitely make mono white humans, especially ETB triggers. There are some human cards that when they enter, they create other tokens, or when they enter, they do stuff. So ETB triggers, maybe scry 2 if you need to. So there's a potential that we could see this one played. Lyndon, the Steadfast Queen, 3 white, is a legendary creature, human noble with vigilance. Whenever a white creature you control attacks, you gain 1 life. Definitely not going to see this in play, but it's a fun card. Maybe throw it in commander deck. Venture of the Meek, 2 colorless, 1 white, creature, human, soldier. Whenever another creature you control with power 2 or less enters, you may pay 1. If you do, draw a card. Maybe a mono white humans, but I still think it's a little too expensive and kind of against what mono white humans is doing. And we have been in rare, so this is our 4th card in rare, is the Felidar Retreat, which is 3 colorless, 1 white. It's an enchantment. It has landfall. An enchantment with landfall is interesting. Whenever a land you control enters, choose 1. Create a 2/2 white cat beast creature token. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain vigilance until end of turn. I don't think you're going to see this in standard, but this is a pretty badass like commander card. I'd definitely put it in my cat deck. Jazal Goldbane. We got like Mufasa, the humanoid. 2 colorless, 2 white, legendary creature, cat warrior with first strike. You can pay 3 colorless, 2 white, attacking creatures you control get +X/+X to end of turn where X is the number of attacking creatures. That's pretty sweet. Again, not going to see it in standard, but you'll see it in at commander. Fumigate is 3 colorless, 2 white. Destroy all creatures. You gain 1 life for each creature. Yeah, potentially you could. It's up there in the same cost as Sunfall, except for Sunfall gives you the token creature. This just gains you life, potentially, if you have some life gain synergies that this cares about. Regal Caracal. 3 colorless, 2 white, creature, cat. Other cats you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. When this creature enters, create 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. They've really invested in cats, but you're not going to see this in standard. Again, go put it in your cat commander deck. Ancestor Dragon, 4 colorless, 2 white. It's a creature dragon, 5/6, flying. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control attack, you gain 1 life for each. Again, you're not going to see this. No, these tribal decks have really given me ideas. Like, I want to make a dog deck, I want to make a cat deck, and I want to make a dragon deck now. We're making a dragon deck. Zetulpa Primal Dawn. That thing is huge. 6 colorless, 2 white, legendary creature, Elder Dinosaur. Ooh, I should also make a dinosaur deck. As flying, double strike, vigilance, trample, and indestructible. 4/8. Okay, Zetulpa needs to go into my Indomitable Rex deck. Like now. This one's going up there with the 7 because it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 keywords by itself. I love it. So, yeah, that should go in my deck for sure. Do I have white? Am I splashing white? I don't know. Angelic Destiny. 2 colorless, 2 white, enchantment aura, enchantment creature. Enchanted creature gets +4/+4, has flying and first strike, and is an angel in addition to its other types. When enchanted creature dies, return Angelic Destiny to its owner's hand. So there is a enchantment deck out there. This would work there. It's a little expensive, but the advantage of it is you get it back. If that creature that this is attached to dies, this card goes back into your hand so that you can then play it again. So I think we could potentially see play on this one. Lyra Dawnbringer. 3 colorless. Is this our... Oh, wait, this was our first mythic. This is our second mythic. Lyra Dawnbringers. 3 colorless, 2 white, legendary creature, angel, flying, first strike, lifelink. Other angels you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. Slap this baby in your angel deck. It could even be the commander for your angel deck. It's pretty sweet. Not going to see it in normal play, standard play. And that, my friends, like I said, would be much quicker. We're going to go through each of the direct to constructed cards is what I'm going to call them. You're not going to see them in your play boosters, but they are standard legal. And if you've made it this far in the video, you might as well do the thing. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Your interactions are free and they help me get the video out to other people like yourself who like Magic the Gathering content. But until next time, we'll catch you at the table. Boom. That was fast. Those were quick. How fast was that one? 19 minutes. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. All right, then we'll jump right into blue. It's not like I'm trying to speed through them, but like, I'm not going through a rating system. I'm not talking like how they're going to perform in draft. And there is a lot to get through. I'll tell you. Tell you what. There is a lot to get through. You ever just look at your email and go, there's too many. There's too many. I'm out. I don't want anything to do with it. Too many emails. Okay. Should go back to doing what we're doing. Keep going. Keep going. We're going to power through. We're going to jump right into the next one. All right, whatever. We'll figure that out. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another... I messed that up. I got a burp, too. Okay, let's go. There it is. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another Foundations set review. If you're thinking to yourself, didn't we just do this? Didn't we just go over this? Yes, we did. We went over, though, the play booster set cards, and in this one, we're going over the direct to standard legal, direct to constructed cards. So these cards will not be found in the play booster, so you're not going to use them in your limited formats like draft and sealed. And we've already covered white. Now we're on to blue. So let's go ahead and check out blue. Starting with a well-known card Opt. And Opt is a 1 blue instant scry 1 draw a card. We're definitely going to see this in standard play. It sees a lot of use in Pioneer right now. So in some of those cantrip decks, it's like, is it Phoenix, for instance? We see that there. And my goal here is we're going to go through each one of these cards and just kind of talk about whether or not we're going to see them in standard and my thoughts on them, but we're going to kind of cruise through it. A lot of them are reprints, and it's good to just kind of review what's going to be in the set to come, and that's kind of my goal with these cards. And we're going to do this in increasing order of CMC cost as well as rarity. So we're starting at the lowest CMC cost and in common with Opt here. And so next up, though, is going to be Dive Down. That's going to be 1 blue instant. Target creature you control gets +0/+3 and gains hexproof until end of turn. So that is a nice, cheap protection spell. So I imagine we may see this in standard competitive play as well. Next up is Unsummon. Is a 1 blue instant. Return target creature to its owner's hand. We'll probably see this in standard play. Nice, cheap bounce card. We'll see it in some places here. Into the Royal is 1 colorless, 1 blue instant. You can have a kicker of 1 colorless, 1 blue, so the same cost as what you paid for it. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If the spell was kicked, draw a card. Might be a little too expensive and too slow to get the kick and draw a card and plus bounce a card. Like, yeah, I don't think we're going to see this one. Next up is Burog Befuddler. Is 1 colorless, 1 blue creature frog wizard. It has flash and is a 2/1. When this creature enters, target creature and opponent control gets -1, -0 until end of the turn. So it could potentially save you and kill it. So if it's a 1/2, for instance, you could flash this in. Target creature gets 1/0 and -1, -0, and then you could kill it. So I think it's too tricky. It's too expensive. I don't think we're going to see it, but I may be surprised. Kite Sail Corsair is a 1 colorless, 1 blue. This creature has flying as long as it's attacking. I don't think we're going to see this one. This one is an old staple. Like, I used to play this in some decks back in the day, but I don't think we're going to see it. Negate, we're definitely going to see. Counter, target non-creature spell for 2. I mean, we're see today. I'm running it in like 3 of my Dimir decks. Sometimes on the sideboard. Actually, every time in the sideboard, but we're going to see it in standard play for sure. This is a staple. Starlight Snare. 2 colorless, 1 blue, enchant aura, enchant creature. When this aura enters, tap enchant creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So, I think it's a little too expensive to see play, but we might see play with it. Next up is Quick Study. 2 colorless, 1 blue, draw 2 cards. Potentially. I think it's still too expensive for 2 cards. Sent you some of the polls I got today on your IG when you're done with the stream. Oh, perfect. I'll have to go take a look. Thanks, Patel. Cancel. 1 colorless, 2 blue, instant counter target spell. Yeah, potentially. We could see this. That's pretty good. I think we could see it. Well, this counter spell is 2 blue, so this, I think... Counterspell's not in here though, so now that's gonna get the better of me. Is Counterspell? I don't think Counterspell is standard legal. It's not. So this is gonna be the closest that we can get. Is Eaten by Pirates. So is the cancel. So I think we'll see cancel in play for sure. Eaten by Pirates. 1 colorless, 1 blue enchantment aura. And that is going to be flash, enchant creature. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a black skeleton creature with base power and toughness 1/1. I doubt it, but we could potentially see it as removal. So it is something to consider. Charted Course, we already see this. See, this is the 2 CMC, draw 2 cards, then discard a card unless you attack this turn. So, like, you can easily draw 2 cards for 2 rather than pay 3. So we'll definitely see Charted Course. We already do. Fog Bank, 1 colorless, 1 blue. It's a creature wall, defender, flying. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to and dealt by this creature. Interesting. So you could just put it up as an O2 blocker and it will block, it'll prevent all damage. Maybe. That's interesting. Flash Freeze. 1 colorless, 1 blue, constant or instant, counter target red or green spell. Maybe. Because, like I said, mono red is really prevalent. Golgari is prevalent. So we'll see. Got a Japanese showcase doubling season, but no Japan fracture foe. That's crazy, dude. That's awesome, though. Exclusion Mage. 2 colorless, 1 blue, creature, human, wizard, 2/2. When this creature enters, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Maybe because it's a wizard, we might see something. But at the same time, I don't know. There might be like an Is It Wizards deck or something, or like a Wizards Win deck with Is It Splash. Even then, I think this might be a little too expensive to see in play. Stormfleet Spy, 2 colorless, 1 blue, raid. When this creature enters, if you attack this turn, draw a card. Gateway Sneak, 2 colorless, 1 blue. I don't think we're going to see this one. Gateway Sneak, 2 colorless, 1 blue creature, Veldalkin Rogue. Whenever a gate you control enters, this creature can't be blocked this turn. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. I doubt we're going to see this one. Whenever a gate you control. What is a gate? I haven't seen a gate. Mystical Teachings, 3 colorless, 1 blue, instant. Search your library for an instant card or a card with flash. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Maybe. I don't think so, though. Shipwrecked Dowser is a 3 colorless, 2 blue creature, merfolk wizard, prowess, 3/3. When this creature enters, return target instant or sorcery card. Yeah, we're not going to see that one. It's just too expensive. Confiscate, 4 colorless, 2 blue, enchant permanent. You control enchant permanent. Maybe. It is kind of sweet. And this will end our uncommons, and we'll move into our rare. So our first rare slot in blue is the Mystic Archaeologist. It's a creature, human, wizard. It's a 3, and then you can pay. It's a 2/1 for 2, and then you can pay 5, draw 2 cards. It's way too slow, way too expensive. We're not going to see play with that. Harbinger Tie of the Tides is 2 blue, creature, merfolk, wizard. You may cast a spell as though it had flash if you pay 2 more to cast it. Okay. When this creature enters, you may return target tapped creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Maybe in a merfolk deck. I mean, we see merfolk decks in modern. Maybe merfolk gets powerful enough, but I doubt it in standard here. Corsair Captain, 2 colorless, 1 blue. It's a creature, human, pirate. This creature, when this creature enters, create a treasure token. Other pirates you control get +1/+1. I mean, put it in your pirate commander deck or even your human deck. But I think it's just too slow for the current meta. Dictate of Kruphix is 1 colorless, 2 blue enchantment flash. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Yeah, you don't really want to give your opponents cards, though. Unless you had Shieldreds out, that would be funny. Just make them draw a bunch, kill themselves. Tempest Jin is 3 blue. Creature is a Jin. And flying, this creature gets +1/+0 for each basic island you control. Potentially. I mean, Haughty Jin is this. It's 1 colorless, 2 blue, and it gets +1/+0 for every instant and sorcery in your graveyard. And it also makes spells and sorceries 1 cheaper. So maybe not. I think this might be too slow. Rite of Replication, 2 colorless, 2 blue, is in Kicker 5. Create a token that's a copy of a target creature. If that spell was kick, create 5 of those tokens instead. I mean, maybe there's this crazy deck that does a bunch of instant and sorceries into your graveyard. And then you could just sit there and copy a bunch of their freaking like 5/5 worms that have ward on them. So I don't know, maybe, but it might, probably not. Voracious Great Shark, 3 colorless, 2 blue, creature shark, flash when this creature enters, counter target artifact or creature spell. Potentially, actually. It's a good counter spell. Target artifact or creature spell. Plus it as a 5/4. So now you have a blocker on the board. So potentially. River's Rebuke, 4 colorless, 2 blue, sorcery. Return all non-land permanents target players control to their owner's hand. I think this card is funny. A big reason it's funny is like if they are making a bunch of tokens, all those tokens go away. The other reason it's funny is if they have already at like 5, 6, 7 cards, and then they have like 4 or 5 cards on the board, and then you put all their cards back in their hand. Now they have to either replay those cards to build their board state, of which they're most likely not going to have the mana to do so. So they're going to have to like discard several of their cards, which is funny. But I don't think we're going to see play with this one. Arcanus the Omnipotent is 3 colorless, 3 blue. It's a legendary creature wizard that's a 3/4. You can tap it, draw 3 cards, or you can pay 2 colorless, 2 blue, return Arcanus to its owner's hand. So the funny thing about this is if you had enough mana, you could play this. Nope, it doesn't have haste. I was going to say. You could play it, tap it, draw the 3 cards, and then return it to your hand, and then play it again. Draw. It's like so much mana. It's so intensive. You're not going to see this played. Finale of Revelation. Pay X and 2 blue, and it's a sorcery. Draw X card. If X is 10 or more, instead shuffle your graveyard into your library. Draw X cards. Untap up to 5 lands, and you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Exile Finale of Revelation. This is a sweet commander card, for sure. I doubt you're going to see any standard play out of it, though. Unless there's some crazy way to cheat that in. Sphinx of the Final World, 5 colorless, 2 blue. This spell can't be countered. Flying, hexproof. Instant and sorcery spells you control can't be countered. It's just too slow. But it's a cool card. Put it in your commander deck. And that, my friends, is how we cover blue in our direct-to-constructed review of the Foundations set. If you've made it this far in the video, you might as well like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It helps the algorithm, helps get this video out to everybody else that may enjoy some Magic and watch this guy live out his dream, try to go pro someday in Magic the Gathering. So until next time, we'll catch you all at the table. Awesome. Awesome, 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 guys. We're cruising. And then you said you sent me something on my Instagram. Let's go check it out. Notifications. Did you say Instagram? Yeah, on my IG. Messages. Not now. Requests. All right. Let's see what you got. View story. Oh, nice. Very nice. Got that Vivian Reed. Ooh. Those are really cool. Okay, I can pause it. There we go. Let me see. Nope. And then want to view clipboard. Oh my God. It's painful. Okay. Man, that was painful. Just to try to show this. Okay. So these are the two cards. Those are sweet. Pretty cool. The cat one is funny. I think the cat one's funny. But yeah, I heard this is trippy in person. The this like Magic the Gathering symbols one. Like, how is that in person? Is it crazy? Delete that. But yeah, these are pretty cool. Patel. Good polls, strong polls. That's fun. Don't save. Let's go back to work. Work, work, work. And we got our first black card. Side cam. Then we're gonna go into set review. Then we're gonna get through black. We're gonna go through black next. Drink some water. Actually, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drink some water, run an ad, and then we'll be back. Run a 3-minute ad. Okay. More set review to do. Let's keep it cooking. Test, test. Okay, good, good. Get all my burps out. Drink some more water. What's up, everybody, and welcome to yet another Foundation set review. And this time it's the 2.0, the direct to constructed set. So these cards you will not find in the play boosters. And today we are going to go over black. And so if we're going to go over here, let's take a look at what we're going to find. This is going to be a little bit quicker than the other set review I did, where we went into depth about where I would kind of rate the card in draftability on my own personal scale. We're going to talk about whether or not it's going to fit into any current standard constructed decks, and if it has a place in the current standard format, or if it's just a fun classic card. And we're going to cruise right on through here. So the first up is Undying Malice. For 1 black instant until end of turn, target creature gains. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. So maybe, but I doubt it. It's just a slot that's taken up about where other things might have more synergy. So I doubt we're going to see any standard play out of this, but there's a potential. You could save a card and it comes back bigger, badder, stronger. Next up is Pulse Tracker. For 1 black, it's a creature vampire rogue. Whenever this creature attacks, each opponent loses 1 life. It's a 1/1 as well. We're not going to see this one, but it might fit into your vampire deck. Duress, we already have this card in play. It's super solid. So I had a conversation earlier about Duress versus Pilfer. Deep Cavern Bat fits sort of where the Pilfer does, but Pilfer just straight up gets rid of it. But this always feels so good as a 1-drop, especially if you're on the play. This is a really great card. So yeah, we're going to continue to see this being played. Next up is Vampire Neonate. 1 black creature vampire 0/3. Pay 2, tap this. Each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. We're not going to see this in standard play, but it's fun. Put it in your vampire deck, in your vampire commander deck. Cemetery Recruitment. Look at this Liliana. The way she looks varies from time to time. This one is like very photorealistic. It's a little bit jarring because it looks so real. But anyways, Cemetery Recruitment. 1 colorless, 1 black sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If it's a zombie card, draw a card. Maybe. So there is a really interesting like zombie deck in Modern. And I think there's some really interesting zombie cards that came out with this set. So maybe we could see like sort of like a mono black zombies approach. But as of the current meta, without any new brews coming up, we're not going to see this currently. Feed the Swarm. This is a 1 colorless, 1 black sorcery. Destroy target creature and enchantment. Opponent controls, you lose life equal to the permanent's mana value. No, it's too expensive. It's killing you. There's already so many other destroy target cards out there. I don't think we're going to see this one. Moment of Craving. 1 colorless, 1 black instant. Target creature gets -2/-2 into end of turn. You gain 2 life. I mean, I think it's too expensive. I think because we have another one. We have, what is it, Stab? That's 1 mana. Offer Immortality. If 1 colorless, 1 black, target creature gains Death Touch and indestructible to end of turn. That's a fun draft card, but too bad it's not draft. Vampire Interloper. It's a 1 colorless, 1 black creature vampire scout 2/1 flying. This creature can't block. Maybe put it in your vampire deck as chaff, but it's like you're not gonna really use it. Crow of Dark Tidings. 2 colorless, 1 black creature zombie bird flying. When this creature enters or dies, mill 2 cards. We're not gonna see this one either. Put it in your zombie deck. There you go. Untapped or untamed. Hunger, 2 colorless, 1 black. Enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+1 and has menace. No, we're not gonna see it. Vampire Spawn, 2 colorless, 1 black. Creature, vampire. When this creature enters, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. It's a 2/3. No, put it in your vampire deck. Skeleton Archer, 3 colorless, 1 black. Creature, Skeleton Archer. When this creature enters, it deals 1 damage to any target. No, it's just too expensive. Doesn't do enough. It's a fun card, though. Suspicious Shambler. 3 colorless, 2... Did you guys see this? There's another, like, zombie in the coat. So it's a person on top of a person. Or a zombie on top of a zombie. But 3 colorless, 1 black. Creature zombie. You can... and it's a 4/2. And you can pay 4 colorless, 2 black. Exile this card from your graveyard. Create 2 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Activate only as a sorcery. Not going to see this, but maybe put it in your zombie deck. Zombie commander deck. This one's going to go in your vampire deck. This is going to be the theme, I think. A lot of great commander cards. Driver of the Dead. 3 colorless, 1 black. As creature vampire, when this creature dies, return target creature card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's just too slow. It's a 3/2. We're not going to really see it, but, you know, can fit in that vampire deck as chaff. Sanguine Indulgence. When this spell costs, it's 3 colorless, 1 black. Sorcery. This spell costs 3 less to cast. If you gain 3 or more life this turn, return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Now, things get interesting. Like, if you could do a graveyard recursion deck of some sort, this would be really nice. You would have to make it in some sort of life gain deck as well. Maybe like Pop of Food, because then you'd gain 3 life. But I doubt we're going to see it. Highborn Vampire. It's 3 colorless, 1 black. Creature, Vampire Warrior, 4/3. We're not going to see it. Vampire Empiric Rites, 1 black. So that ends our common. Now we're going to move into uncommon. And that's a Vampiric Rites is going to meet us there in uncommons. And that is a 1 black enchantment. Pay 1 colorless, 1 black, sacrifice a creature, you gain life, and draw a card. No. It'd be a fun draft card, though, for sure. Deathmark. That's interesting. 1 black, sorcery, destroy target green or white creature. I think it's too specific. It's the right price, but it's too specific. Knight of Malice is a 1 colorless, 1 black creature, human knight, first strike, hexproof from white, and this creature gets +1/+0 as long as any player controls a white permanent. It's a 2/2. I mean, it's too much hate for white, and there is some white competitive decks like mono white humans, Selesnya rabbits, but most of the big threats in the top 8 are going to be like Dimir, Golgari, and mono red. So it's going to be black, green, blue, and red. So I just don't think we're going to see anything from it. Gatekeeper of Malakir is 2 black. It's a creature vampire warrior for 2/2. It has a kicker cost of 1 black. When this creature enters, if it was kicked, target player sacrifices a creature of their choice. Actually, maybe. The 3 cost, they sack a creature and you get a creature. I'd put it in a maybe in a specific build, but probably not. Tribute to Hunger, 2 colorless, 1 black. Target opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. You gain life equal to that creature's toughness. No, we're not going to see it. Deadly Plot is 3 colorless, 1 black. Choose 1, destroy target creature or planeswalker. Return target zombie creature card from. Like I said, there could be something to this zombie graveyard recursion deck. But for now, no. Vile Entomber is 2 colorless, 2 black creature, zombie warlock, death touch with the 2/2. When this creature enters, search your library for a card, put that card into your graveyard, then shuffle. No, we're not going to see this. Blood Tithe Collector, 4 colorless, 1 black, creature vampire noble, 3/4, flying. When this creature enters and opponent lost life turn, each opponent discards a card. Great commander card, but no. Malfed Twins, Malfeld Twins, 5 colorless, 1 black, creature zombie. When this creature dies, create 2 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. For some reason, struggled with that word. We're not going to see that one either. Dread summons X and 2 black. Each player mills X card for each creature card put in the graveyard. This way, you create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token. Maybe, like I said, there might be some to this zombie deck. And that was our first rare card. So now we're going to go on to our second rare card, which is Calastria. I just want to say cholesterol. Calastria Highborn is 2 black creature vampire shaman with 2/2. Whenever this creature or another vampire you control dies, you may pay black. If you do, target player loses life. This is a commander card. Null Priest of Oblivion, 1 colorless, 1 black. I like the art on it though. It's crazy. Vampiric, it's a creature vampire cleric. That's a 2/1 kicker. 3 colorless, 1 black. Lifelink menace. When this creature enters, if it was kicked, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. No, we're not going to see it. Wishclaw Talisman is 1 colorless, 1 black artifact. This artifact enters with 3 wishes, counters on it. Pay 1, tap it, remove a wish counter from your artifact. Search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. An opponent gains control of this artifact. Activate only during your turn. Interesting. So you use this, and then it's given to your opponent, and then your opponent can use it once, and then it's given back to you, and then you can use it again. Huh. I don't think we're going to see it, but it's interesting. Death Baron, 1 colorless, 2 black, creature, zombie, wizard. Skeletons you control other zombies you control get +1/+1 and have death touch. Like I said, something might be something to the zombie deck. Midnight Reaper, whenever a non-token creature you control dies, this creature deals 1 damage to you and you draw a card. We've seen this in Standard and before. I don't know if we're going to see it again, though. Desecration Demon, 2 colorless, 2 black. Flying at the beginning of each combat, any opponent may sacrifice creatures of their choice. If a player does, tap this creature and put a 1/1 counter on it. At the beginning of each combat, any opponent may sacrifice a creature of their choice. If a player does, tap this creature and put a 1/1 counter. Oh, because they could sack a card and stop this from attacking. Interesting. We might see it in the Demons deck. It's cheap enough. It's a 6/6. Gives people some choice, some hard choices. So maybe. Crossway Troublemakers. 5 colorless, 1 black, creature, vampire. Attacking vampires you control have death touch and lifelink. Whenever a vampire you control dies, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. Put it in your commander deck. Myojin of Night's Reach. 5 colorless and 3 black. Legendary creature spirit. Myojin of Night's Reach enters with a divinity counter on it if cast from your hand. Okay. Myojin of Night's Reach has indestructible as long as it has a divinity counter on it. Remove a divinity counter from Myojin of Night's Reach. Each opponent discards their hand. Interesting. So you can play it. It has indestructible. And then at any point, I can just be like, all right, I'm going to remove this divinity counter. And you discard your hand. Again, commander card. For sure. And that will complete our rares. So now we get into the black cards. Is that like Ob Nixilis and Liliana? Is that who that's supposed to be? Demonic Pack, 2 colorless and 2 black. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose one that hasn't been chosen. This enchantment deals 4 damage to any target and you gain 4 life. Target opponent discards 2 cards, draw 2 cards, and then lose the game. I wonder if you can like do 3 of these and then like give this to somebody. There is a red card that's like something gift, and then you can just give it to somebody. But I wonder if it resets if it changes possession. All that to be said, I don't know if you're going to see this. You can see it in Commander though. Massacre Worm, 3 colorless and 3 black. It's a creature, Phyrexian Worm. When this creature enters, creatures your opponent control get -2/-2 until end of turn. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, that player loses 2 life. I don't think we're going to see it. It's a cool card. Put it in your commander deck. And that will bring us to the end of black. If you've made it this far in the video, you might as well do the thing, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. It helps get the video out to other people who like Magic the Gathering content, and it helps me out. And it's the best way you can do something for free for the channel and help me out. And let people stumble upon this guy. He's trying to live out his dream, playing or getting to the pro tour in Magic the Gathering. You can tell it's getting late. The closings are struggling, but I appreciate all of you hanging out. Thank you for your time, and stay tuned for the next one where we're going to go over red, green, and we have colorless and then multicolor still to go through in the straight to constructed series. So until next time, we'll catch you at the table. Awesome. Whew. You can tell I'm getting tired though. That's for sure. That's for sure. And then we gotta edit these tonight. Ooh, we got some work to do. What's up, Retired Magnus? Being a talking head and going to the sets can be exhausting. It is. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So we did the Play Booster set review already. That one took a little bit more time. Those took like 30 to 40 minutes. Luckily, these ones are only taking about 20 minutes. These are the straight to constructed cards that will still be standard legal. So these are not the jumpstart cards or the guest appearance. And none of the guests, special guests, are going to be standard legal either. So I'm just going to do the standard legal and the, well, all of them are going to be standard legal that I've covered. But then I did the first set that was for like limited already. And then we got to edit those and put those up on the old YouTubes. But yeah. It is a lot of work. Gotta stay hydrated. And stop spilling water on myself. So next up is red. Red's gonna be interesting. I'm already excited about red. I got the starts of my red deck. Boom. Ember Heart Challengers, baby. Actually, it's a lot more than Ember Heart Challengers. It's most of a red aggro deck. I think I'm only missing 4 of the mice. And then I want to make some tweaks to it. There's the Druid. Is nice. What was the Druid? What's the Druid? Oh my god. I can't remember cards. What's the black and red Druid? Oh god, I can't remember. I think I wrote it down somewhere. Gruul aggro. Visual stacks. Questing Druid. Haha, found it. Questing Druid looks pretty sweet. What do I have? The Ember Heart, the Heartfire Hero. I need to put my pre-orders in for Bolt Wave and for Burst Lightning. I also got get a bunch of dual lands. Should get my Ghost Vacuums. Ugh. Actually, there's a bunch of cards I need to order. But yeah, mono red looks interesting. This was here. I'll show what I'm looking at. And center. But yeah, this was the deck I was looking at here. Hey, that's better. So I already have the Ember Hearts and the Fire Heroes, and then Monastery Swift Spears. I don't know if I have those. The Questing Druid was the one I was thinking of. Getting that in there, getting some slick shot show offs. But this is not the Gruul burn deck. There is a burn deck that I was gonna Gruul burn. Here we go. Hired Claw, Monastery Swift Spear with the Questing Druid still. Then Screaming Nemesis, Slick Shot Show Off. You run your Bolt Waves or Burst Lightning, and then your Lightning Strike, Monstrous Rave, and then your Shock. This was another version that I was going to do. So this one is going to require me to get to Hired Claw, Monastery Swift Spear. I don't have any of those. This is like a whole nother set of red cards I don't have. I have like the Monstrous Rages, a couple other ones. I've been having a blast with Delirium deck that like one person played at Worlds. It's probably not as good as the other Prowess decks, but it was fun. Interesting. I do like that people are putting Ghost Vacuum. Ghost Vacuum is like specific hate though for the white-blue deck with Aberrant Oculus and the Haughty Jin. I don't know what the place for this one is. When this case enters the battlefield, discard a card, then draw 2 cards. To solve, you have no cards in hand. Solved at the beginning of your upkeep, discard your hand, then draw 2 cards. Okay, I guess that's way just burn through your hand and then get more cards. Then it also includes Blooming Blast, which is interesting. Blooming Blast deals 2 damage to target creature if the gift was promised. Blooming Blast also deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. So it's just more burn. I guess you would probably play that in the mirror. Paw Patch Formation's nice because the other thing you got to worry about is a bunch of freaking flying demons. So easy removal for demons. Just a little extra insurance. We'll throw out a Pyroclasm. But yeah, those were the 2 decks I was looking at. It was a Gruul aggro. For now, I have Quinn's deck, Quinn Tonoli's deck. That I have that 1-for-1 right now. I need to probably add some stuff here, like Slick Shot Show Off, some Shocks, Lightning Strike, Burst Lightning, Bolt Wave. So these 2 I can pre-order, because I know people already have them. So. All right, so we're gonna do this here. Drink some more water. Gotta get ready. And then I'll probably take a break here and do the rest. So side cam, set review. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another set review, this time for the direct-to-constructed set for Foundations. We already did the Play Booster review. We rated cards. We said what we thought they might do in draft. Now we're just going to cover the rest of the set. So these cards are not found in Play Boosters. These cards are direct-to-constructed format, so they are standard legal, but you're just not going to find them in Play Boosters. A lot of them are reprints. So for me, I've recognized some of them, but some of them at the same time, I'm not an OG, you know? I mean, I've been playing Magic since the 90s, but it was cafeteria Magic, right? I sat around at the cafeteria table. I had a burn deck. It was sweet. And I might actually get to play a competitive burn deck again, and we'll see how that goes. But that is an aside. Maybe it's not a side because the color we're going to cover right now is red. And so we're going to dive into red. We're going to talk about whether or not we think it's going to show up in standard based off of the current meta. Things could always change. Things could always go sideways. But we're going to go ahead, jump into that review right now. This will move a little quicker than the previous reviews because we're not going to rate the cards. We're not going to go deep into analysis. We're going to kind of read the cards, understand the cards, and then see if there's a place for it in standard, and then just keep cruising. So first up on the list, we're going to go in increasing order, both in CMC as well as rarity. So we're going to start at the lowest cost, lowest rarity. We're going to move from common to uncommon to rare to mythic, and we'll make our way all the way through this set. So first up is the Kindled Fury, 1 red instant. A target creature gets +1/+0, gains first strike until end of turn. I don't think you're doing quite enough with this for it to make it into anything. You know, it might trigger prowess. It does give something first strike, but there's other ways to either get double strike or trample. So I think it's just a little too little to see any standard play. Next up, this is one that we already see some standard play, so we're going to continue to see this. We could see this in like a mono red wizards type deck, but this is a nice card, a 1 mana 1/2. As long as there are 2 or more instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard, this creature gets +1/+0 and has haste. So we could see this one for sure make it into standard. Next up is Crash Through, is a 1 red sorcery. Creatures you control gain trample until end of turn and draw a card. I really think you need the damage for it to be used in like any mono red aggro deck, so I don't think we're going to see this one. Next up is Swab Goblin. Yet again, these monkey goblins. Like I said, these are monkeys. They're not goblins. I don't understand. It's a 1 colorless, 1 red creature goblin pirate for 2/2. We're not going to see it. Go put it in your pirate deck or your goblin deck. Scorching Dragonfire. There's potentially a chance that we could see this. This is a good draft card for sure. We saw it in Duskmourn, but we're not. If it did it to a player as well, I think we might see it. But I think it's just a little too focused to make it into standard. Kargan Dragon Rider is 1 colorless, 1 red creature human warrior. As long as you control a dragon, this creature has flying. Put it in your dragon deck. Put it in your dragon commander deck. It would be fun. Dragon Fodder. Look, we got more hairy goblins. Is 1 colorless, 1 red, create 2 1/1 goblin creature tokens. This is, again, go put it in your goblin deck. Have some fun with it. Viashino Pyromancer is 1 colorless, 1 red. It's a creature lizard wizard. When this creature enters, it deals 2 damage to target player or planeswalker, and it's a 2/1. I think it's a little too little, but maybe it could. There might be a place for it in like a burn deck, but it would be a fun draft card. I think it's just going to be hard to make it work in standard. I should quick change to the Bolt shirt. I should, but to keep everything uniform, I'm gonna go ahead and just keep the black shirt. It helps with timeline. You never know when these videos were recorded if I just keep the black shirt. Impact Tremors is a 1 colorless, 1 red enchantment. Whenever a creature you control enters, this enchantment deals 1 damage to each opponent. I think it's a little too little, if that makes any sense. So I was actually looking at a Gruul burn deck. So this is a Gruul burn deck that I was playing around with the idea of. And this is sort of the standard for burn, right? 2 damage to any target, lightning strike, 3 damage to any player, burst lightning, 2 damage to any target, or 4 damage. Instead, if it was kicked, bolt wave, 3 damage to an opponent. Hired claw, every time it attacks, it does 1 damage to an opponent. Slick shot, show off, has haste, goes right over the top. So that's kind of the standard for burn. It does play a few creatures: Hired Claw, Monastery Swiftspear, Questing Druid, Screaming Nemesis, Slick Shot. So it's playing 20 creatures. Like, where would you put this card in there? I mean, it's gonna do damage every time a creature comes in, but it would work really well in definitely a commander deck because it's to each opponent. So every time I create a creature, or whenever a creature you control enters. So it's not just one, it's whenever it does one damage to an opponent. So you could definitely do some really interesting things in Commander with this, but I just don't think it's going to fit into like a modern or a standard deck today. Seize the Spoils. 2 colorless, 1 red sorcery. As an additional cost to cast the spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards and create a treasure token. We're not going to see this one. We're not going to see this one. Raging Redcap. 2 colorless, 1 red, creature, goblin, knight. This is funny. You just can't see. It's just swinging. It's got double strike, and it's a 1/2. It's too slow. We're not going to see it, but it might be fun in your goblin deck. Goblin Smuggler is 2 colorless, 1 red, creature, goblin, rogue. It has haste. It's a 2/2. When, another target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. So this could actually, well, it's a little too slow. It's too slow. If it was like 1 colorless and a red, I could definitely see you playing this in like a aggro deck and then tapping a card and making it unblockable, and then juicing it, just putting a bunch of stuff on it, putting your monstrous rage, putting your snake scale vein, wow, what is that called? I can't think. It's gone forever. Snakeskin Veil on it, so you could buff it after you've declared that this creature can't be blocked. So there's definitely some interesting things that you could do, but it's just too expensive, so I don't think we're going to see it played. Carnelian Orb of Dragonkind is 2 colorless, 1 red. It's a tap, add 1 red. If that mana is spent on a dragon creature spell, it gains haste until end of turn. Put it in your commander deck is what I'm going to say. You're going to hear that a lot. There's a lot of cards that work well with tribes in Foundation, I found. So if you're doing a tribal-based commander deck, a lot of these are going to fit. This one's going to fit. Go do it there. Skyraker Giant is a 2 colorless, 2 red, and it has reach and is a 4/3. We're not going to see it in play. It's a cool card, though. I like the art. It's kind of cool. Giant took down a dragon. Capacious Dragon is a 4 colorless, 1 red creature dragon flying 3/3. When this creature enters, create 2 treasure tokens. We're not going to see it in standard, but it's cool. Go put it in your dragon deck. Put it in the deck. Fire Elemental, 3 colorless, 2 red creature elemental. Put it in the deck. You could go put it in your elemental deck. Goblin Oriflame, 1 colorless, 1 red enchantment. Attacking creatures you control get +1/+0. No. Again, go put it in the deck. I just need a sign. Put it in the deck. Dragon Lord Servant is a 1 colorless, 1 red creature, goblin, shaman, dragon spells you cast. Yeah, go put it in your dragon deck. See, like I said, just go put it in your dragon deck. Obliterating Bolt, 1 colorless, 1 red. This is Obliterating Bolt does 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, exile it instead. This is a really fun. Is this? Oh, we're well into uncommon. This is the 3rd uncommon we've had here. This would be a fun draft card for sure. I just don't think it has a place in standard. Like 4 is a weird damage. Like it does kill quite a bit, but at the same time, there's a bunch of stuff that's above it that you would prefer to like exile. I'm thinking like Shieldrids, the demons, cards. I mean, I guess it would exile things like the Enduring Blue card that gives you extra card draw. Gix's command or Glissa is who I'm thinking of. So they could have some potential, but I think you're just trying to be too quick, and this is too defensive in red, in all honesty. Giant Cindermaw, 2 colorless, 1 red. It's a creature, dinosaur, beast, 4/3, trample. Players can't gain life. Interesting. Not going to see it in standard. Put it in your dinosaur deck. There you go. Gutter Snipe, 2 colorless, 1 red, creature, goblin, shaman. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this creature deals 2 damage to each opponent. Maybe? How many? 4 sorceries. There's 20 instants in sorceries. So if every time I cast one of these, I did an extra 2 damage. And I honestly think it could... It could potentially take the spot of Screaming Nemesis, in all honesty. It could potentially take the spot of Screaming Nemesis. It would put it in there, and then every time I cast one of these, it gets an extra 2. Like, maybe. We could potentially see it in Standard. Mind Sparker is 1 colorless, 2 red. It's a creature elemental. First strike, 3/2. Whenever an opponent casts a white or blue instant or sorcery spell, this creature deals 2 damage to that player. You're not going to see it. It's too limiting. But you can put it in your elemental deck. Put it in the deck. Volley Veteran is 3 colorless, 1 red. Creature Goblin Warrior. This creature enters. It deals damage to target creature an opponent controls equal to the number of goblins you control. Put it in the deck. It's going to go in your goblin deck. It's not going to see it in Standard. Battle Rattle Shaman. That's funny. 3 colorless, 1 red. Creature Goblin Shaman. It's 2/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have a target creature get +2/+0 until end of the turn. Yeah, go put it in your goblin deck. Put it in the deck. Ravenous Giant. 2 colorless, 2 red. It's a creature giant. It's a 5/5 for 4. At the beginning of your upkeep, this creature deals 1 damage to you. I don't know where you would want that, but sure. Bolt Bend. This is cool. That's Ral. That's cool. You get to see like the Planeswalker. And then that's another card. I hope it's Nadu. There's fucking up Nadu over there. 3 colorless, 1 red. This spell costs 3 less to cast if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. Change the target of spell or ability with a single target. I don't think we're going to see this played anywhere, but it's fun. I don't think anything's going to have a power 4 or greater in red, really. Unless you're playing like an Is It deck and doing something crazy there. I guess if you were playing an Is It deck and then there is a couple cards that scale with like number of lands. So maybe in an Is It deck, you could do something interesting with that, but I doubt it. Hoarding Dragon, 3 colorless, 2 red. Flying, when this creature enters, you may search your library for an artifact card, exile it, then shuffle. When this creature dies, you may put the exiled card into your owner's hand. Blittering Bolt already sees play in standard sideboards. It's currently legal. Blittering Bolt. Yeah, I'm thinking main board, but yeah, I could see it as a sideboard card for sure. Especially because of the exile. Yeah. Fair. Good call out. Yeah, a lot of these are already standard legal or reprints of standard legal cards. So yeah, this would go Dragon deck again. Dragon Mage, 5 colorless, 2 red, creature Dragon Wizard flying. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, each player discards their hand, then draws 7 cards. Again, I'd go put it in your Dragon deck. It's pretty cool. When this each player discards their hand, then draws 7 cards. That would really mess up the board if you were playing Commander. You're giving everybody a fresh 7 cards, though. That would also suck, though. If somebody was just walking around with like 1 or 2 cards and then all of a sudden they have 7 cards, you just help them. Really. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. It would cause chaos in a Commander game, but it's not going to see standard play. And that will finish up the uncommons. Over into the rares, we get Strom Kirk Noble for 1 red. Is a creature vampire noble. This creature can't be blocked by humans. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on it. Interesting. I don't think we're going to see standard play out of it, though. Dropkick Bomber, 2 colorless, 1 red. Creature, Goblin Warrior. Other goblins you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Another target goblin you control gains flying. And when this creature deals combat damage, sacrifice it. No, probably not going to see that. But you can put it in your goblin deck. Taurian Mauler, 2 colorless, 1 red. It's a creature shapeshifter for 2/2. It's a changeling, so it is every type. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, you may put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Put it in any tribe deck that you might have for red. So you can put it for goblins. You could put it for dragons, pirates. I'm thinking what other red meta cards there is. But yeah, as a shapeshifter, it's definitely just going to be able to do anything, and then it gets counters on it. So fun little card you could put in there. Harmless Offering. So this was the card I was thinking of. So it's a red card, 2 colorless, 1 red. It's a sorcery. Target opponent gains control of a target permanent you control. And then there's an enchantment, a black enchantment, where it's you choose one that you haven't chosen. And it was like gain life, draw 2 cards, do something else, and then lose the game. And so that would be a funny one to like give somebody. And then the other thing I was wondering is like, did it retain the choices? But I don't think it does. But it'd be funny, like use 3 of them and then use this card and give it to them, and the only one available to them is the 4. It retains the ones you've chosen already, so you could use 3 of the ones you've already chosen, and then give it to them, and then they lose the game. That would be funny. Harmless Offering, and it's a black card. It's a black enchantment. I forget what it's called, but that one's funny. Ball Lightning. 3 red is a creature, elemental, trample with haste. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice this creature. It's a 6/1. That's kind of fun. Trample and haste. If I had flying, I think it would be really ideal. I don't know if we'll see this one. It's fun. It's aggressive. You might see it in an aggro deck. But I don't know. I think it's a little too limiting. Redcap Gutter Dweller is a 2 colorless, 2 red. Creature, Goblin Warrior, Menace. When this creature enters, create 2 1/1 black rat creature tokens. With this token can't be blocked. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on this creature and exile the top card of your library. This thing does a lot of stuff. I would definitely throw it in a Goblin deck. I don't think we're going to see it too much in the old Standard, but definitely put it in a Goblin deck. It does a lot of fun stuff. Gratuitous Violence. 2 colorless, 3 red enchantment. If a creature you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage instead. Again, fun commander card. I doubt we're going to see it in Standard. Lathless Dragon Queen. Gotta love dragons. 4 colorless, 2 red flying, and it's a 6/6. Whenever another non-token dragon you control enters, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. This would be awesome. This would be an awesome draft card if you could, if it was in the draft set, but it's not. It would be a fun little, like, I would definitely draft it in like a dragon tribal thing. Definitely put it in a dragon tribal commander deck. This thing is awesome. Terror of the Mount Velis. 5 colorless, 2 red, creature dragon flying, double strike. When this creature enters, creatures you control gain double strike until end of turn. Again, dragon deck. Do some crazy stuff. Not going to see it in Standard, though. And that will round out the rare. And now we're on to the mythic in red, which is Dragon Master Outcast for 1 red. It's a creature human shaman. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 6 or more lands, create a 5/5 red dragon creature. I mean, that's hyper aggressive. If you control 6 or more lands and you drop this bad boy. Oh, it's got to live, though. It's got to live through a turn, and it's a 1/1. Somebody's going to be zapping that thing out right away, especially if you're, 5-6 lands in, so your turn 5-6. Like, I doubt we'll see it, but that's fun. It's a fun idea. And that, my friends, that's the only mythic card in red is Dragon Master Outcast. With that, my friends, we have come to the end of red. If you've made it this far in the video, you might as well do the thing. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. All of the interactions help get the videos out to other people who like Magic the Gathering content like yourself and want to watch this guy try to live out his dream of qualifying for the Pro Tour in the next 5 years. And as part of that is doing set reviews, doing drafts, doing constructed. And you can find all of that here on this channel. And I hope you appreciated our journey so far through all of the Play Booster sets. And now we've made our way all the way through the direct to constructed or direct to standard cards from white, blue, black, and red. We got one last of the main 5. We have green to do, multicolor, and then colorless. And then if there's any lands, we'll take a look at those as well. So until next time, we'll catch you all at the table. Awesome, awesome, awesome. If you're in the live stream, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for hanging out. If you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, feel free to follow if you're on Twitch, like and subscribe, leave a comment if you're on the YouTube live stream. All of the engagement is free to you and helps us a ton as a creator get us all mixed up in the algorithm, right? Gets us all mixed up in the algorithm, and then the algorithm pushes us out to other people who may want to see this content as well. Is there lands? There is lands. There's dual lands. Yeah, there is lands. But next up is green. And we're going to see more elves for sure. For certain, we will see elves. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to take another quick bio break. I got to rest my voice, refill the water, splash some water in my face, get pumped, get ready, get psyched, because we have like another hour of this to do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a 3-minute ad. That way we don't have any pre-rolls for the next hour. And I will put up the BRB screen, and we'll get right back at it when I get back here. All right, I'm back. I won't lie. I had to take a shit. I feel better though, in case anybody cares, wonders. Gotta look at my schedule. Okay. We're going to have some time to be able to finish all this, but we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Keep it cooking. So we have green to do, multicolor to do, and then colorless and lands will be in a video on its own. So 3 more here. Let's get her cooking. What's up, everybody, and welcome to yet another Foundations set review. This time we're covering the direct to constructed or direct to standard cards. So cards that are going to be standard legal but not found in the play boosters. And we're going to take a look at all of the cards and all of the colors. We've already covered white, blue, black, red, and now we are on to green. So we're going to take a look at green, and we're going to do this in increasing CMC cost as well as increasing rarity. So we're going to start at the lowest green card, at the lowest rarity, and move ourselves up through common, uncommon, into rare, and then finally mythic. And we're going to say whether or not we think we're going to make it into standard. So there is some really interesting things going on with elves. There's a potential that we could see an elf deck in standard, but it's definitely going to add some interesting mechanics here. So first up we have is Druid of the Cowl. Is a one colorless, 1 green creature elf druid. It's also a mana dork, so it can be tapped to produce green, and it is a 1/3. If elves do become a thing in standard, this will definitely be part of that, in my opinion. Next up is Bear Cub. It is a 1 colorless, 1 green creature bear 2/2. I mean, we're definitely not going to see this in standard, but it's cute. It's cute. Thorn Wield Archer is a 1 colorless, 1 green creature elf archer. It has reach and death touch. It's a 2/1. Potentially, like I said, if elves make it into standard, this could potentially go in there. Having reach and being a death touch at a 2/1, like, it's just taking stuff out that's much bigger than itself. Like, what demon? And just smacking it out of the air. New Horizons, 2 colorless, 1 green enchantment aura. Enchant land. When this aura enters, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Enchanted land has a tap, add 2 mana of any one color. Potentially, so that's mana ramping. We see similar cards in Modern as well. I think they're a little bit cheaper though. Basically making your card tap for 2 colors instead of just 1, or not 2. It could be 2 colors. Maybe. No, it wouldn't be, but it taps for 2 instead of 1. And it gets a 1/1, but it's a little expensive. So we may or may not see this, especially in like a ramp deck, or we might see it in like a domain deck or something like that. Spring Bloom Druid, 2 colorless, 1 green. I don't know why they got to do this guy's hairline like that, but they did him dirty with his hairline. But this creature, Elf Druid, is a 1/1. When this creature enters, you may sacrifice a land. If you do, search your library for 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Interesting ramp strategy. I don't know if it's going to make it in, just because it's like sack a land to go get 2 lands, so you just burned like 3 lands in a turn. I mean, maybe, because say you're on turn 3, you play this, you sack a land, and then next turn you have 4 lands, which gives you exactly where you would be anyways if you just played your 4th land. I guess if you're hard up on lands, I don't know. Or maybe you need to splash. Like, this would be a fun draft card. I just don't think you're going to see it in standard. Fierce Empath is 2 colorless, 1 green. It's a creature. It's an elf. And it's a 1/1. When this creature enters, you may search your library for a creature card with mana value 6 or greater. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. I don't think we're going to see this one. Next up is Magnagoth Sentry, 3 colorless, 1 green. It's a creature tree folk, and it has reach, and it's a 4/4. I don't think we're going to see this one, but it's fun. It's a fun card. Good old classic. Wild Heart Invoker is a 2 colorless, 2 green elf shaman creature that's a 4/3. You can also pay 8. Target creature gets 5/5 and gains trample until end of turn. That's just so expensive. It would be fun in a big stompy dinosaur deck, maybe. Tajuru Pathwarden is 4 colorless, 1 green creature, elf warrior allied, has vigilance and trample, and is a 5/4. I don't think we're going to see it in standard play, but it's kind of fun. You might see it in Commander. Mold Adder. Ooh. Ooh. They didn't go with mold as much as they did, like, slime. Or maybe they're saying it's molding. Is that what it's called when a snake sheds its skin? I thought that was molding. Maybe? I don't know. Molding? Is that what that is? Anyways, this is our first no, that's molting. Yeah. Mold Adder then. That was close. Yeah, they went with it's just gross. Like the longer you look at it, the grosser it gets. It's like a snot snake. I'm calling it snot snake. that's what this is. It's a mold adder. It's a 1 green creature fungus snake. Yeah, it doesn't look like fungus either. It would be like furry if it was mold or fungus. Fungus would be more like mushroomy, I guess. I guess there is slime mold. That is a thing. I don't know. I'm thinking about that one way too long. But it's a 1/1. Whenever our opponent casts a blue or black spell, you may put a 1/1 counter on this creature. I think it's too limiting to see in standard play, but interesting and gross. Very gross looking. Ordeal of Nylea is 1 colorless, 1 green, enchantment aura, enchant creature. Whenever enchanting creature attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. Then if it has 3 or more 1/1 counters on it, sacrifice this aura. When you sacrifice this aura, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. That's really interesting, but I don't think we'll see it in standard play. It could definitely be fun in Commander, but it's interesting. Interesting little mechanic. Just buff something up, and then if you get to it +3/+3 on it, and then you can set it has to be sacked, and then you get 2 basic lands. So it's a good little ramping thing. I definitely like it in Arena, or not Arena, in Commander. Venom Connoisseur is 1 colorless, 1 green. It's creature, human, druid. It's a 2/2. Whenever another creature you gain or you control enters, this creature gains death touch into end of turn. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, all creatures you control gain death touch into end of turn. That is really interesting, and I would like that in a Commander deck. I just don't think that it's going to work its way into standard. Whoop, went too fast. Finn the Fangbearer. It's a 1 colorless, 1 green, legendary creature, human warrior, has death touch, and it's a 1/3. Whenever a creature you control with death touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. Are we bringing back the poison decks? I doubt it. There's not a lot of poison. I mean, there is poison. It's not green though. It's like blue-black, I think, is the poison deck. So I don't think this will see any play. Be fun in your poison Commander deck though. Thrashing Brontodon is a 1 colorless, 2 green, 3/4. You can pay 1, sacrifice this creature, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Again, fun, classic, old card, but it's just been power crept. I don't think we're going to see it. Copilot says, yes, mold is a type of fungus, so mold adder makes a bit more sense as a fungus snake. It does, but that looked like slime. All right, we're going back to the snake. Like, just look at it. Look at it. Like, I'm going to break something. All right, it didn't do anything. It's like slimy. It doesn't look like mold. Okay, we're done. We're done with the snake. We got to keep on. Keep on keeping on. Imperious is a 2 colorless, 1 green creature elf warrior, 2/2. Other elves you control get +1/+1. You can pay 1 green, tap it, create a 1/1 green. Like, we could see this if elf deck becomes a thing. I really do think so. There's just some cards that really get to me. There was a few in Duskmourn that, like, the longer I stared at it, the grosser I got out. I'm like, luckily they didn't do what's the fear of many holes, like a bunch of holes close together. Is that tryptophobia or something like that? I don't think they did a card around that, but that would have creeped me out. Circuitous Route is a 3 colorless, 1 green sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and or gate cards. So gate has been mentioned several times. I guess I'm too new of a player to know what a gate is. I don't know what a gate card is. Put them onto the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. But basically 4 mana to go get 2 land cards. Again, probably a fine commander card, but I don't think we're going to see it in standard. Gnarlback Rhino, 2 colorless, 2 green, creature rhino. It has trample, it's 4/4. Whenever you cast a spell that targets this creature, draw a card. Again, nice, fun, big, stompy card, but I don't think we're going to see it in standard. Biogenic Upgrade is 4 colorless, 2 green, sorcery. Distribute 3 1/1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures, then double the number of 1/1 counters on each of those creatures. This, again, would be fun in standard, or in commander, but I don't think we're going to see it in standard. It's fun. I like it. It's crazy art thing going on. We got a hammerhead, shark, octopus, crab thing, and then like an alligator humanoid thing going on. And then I have no idea what this little dude with a bunch of eyes reminds me of the dude from Nemesis from Resident Evil. Next up is Joraga Invocation. It's 4 colorless and 2 green sorcery, and each creature you control gets +3/+E until end of turn. Must be blocked if able. Again, fun card, but mostly found in commander. I don't think we're going to see it in standard. We have Pelika Worm. It's a 4 colorless, 3 green creature worm, 7/7 with trample. This creature enters, you gain 7 life. When this creature dies, you draw a card. It's a fun card. Goes into a nice little stompy deck. I would say, again, go put it in your green commander deck full of big stompy things with ramp. And that will finish out the uncommon. So next up is our rares. So we have Primal Might is going to greet us first, and this is pay X colorless and 1 green, and it's a sorcery. Target creature you control gets +X/+X until end of turn. Then it fights up to 1 target creature you control. This would be a really fun draft card, but again, it's not going to be in the draft set. Could be a fun commander card, 100%. I just don't think it's going to make its way into standard. I don't really know. There's not many fight cards in standard right now as it is, so there would be like nothing to replace. So I'm like trying to compare it to other fight cards, and I just don't think it's going to be in there. Wildborn Preserver, 1 colorless, 1 green creature, elf archer. It's got flash, it's got reach, it's a 2/2. Whenever another non-human creature you control enters, you may pay X. When you do, put X 1/1 counters on this creature. So this could be a fun addition to an elf deck. Like I said, there's a lot of really interesting elf synergies. Being able to flash this in, and then anytime you play other elves, you have the opportunity to pay X and put 1/1 counters on this card, making it a nice little... and it has reach too, which is really nice, taking out things in the air. Predator Ooze. Here's another creepy one. I don't know why the oozes is creeping me out. But this is 3 green, creature ooze type. It's indestructible. And then whenever this creature attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. Whenever a creature dealt damage by this creature this turn dies, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. This thing scales. This is fun. I don't think we'll see it in standard, but it'd definitely be a fun commander card. Next up is Sirach the Hunt Caller. 2 colorless, 2 green, legendary creature, human warrior. It's a 5/4. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if creatures you control have power 8 or greater, target creature you control gains haste until end of turn. again, fun card. Go put it in your big stompy green deck, but I don't think we're going to see it in Commander. Hero's Bane. 3 colorless, 2 green, creature Hydra. This creature enters with 4 1/1 counters on it. And then I can pay 2 colorless and 2 green, put X 1/1 counters on it. This creature where X is its power. Okay, so it comes in, it's a 4/4 for 5. And then next turn you could pay 4 and then make it an 8/8. And then the turn after that, you could pay 4 again and make it a 16/16. Yeah, this thing is fun. It's fun. Like, it's a classic big O stompy green shit. Like, go put it in your commander deck. Big O stompy green commander deck. This is a fun card. It's just 5 green for a 10/10. Just 5 green for a 10/10, a Gigantosaurus. Like, it's fun. It's in like the starter free deck that they give you in Arena, but I don't think you're going to see it in competitive play. Go put it in your dinosaur deck in Commander. Like, I like that they did this full art treatment. They didn't put nothing else on this. It's just 5 green. Here's a 10/10 dinosaur. Enjoy. Like, it's fun. Next up in rare, we have Aggressive Mammoth. 3 colorless, 3 red. Wow. 3 colorless, 3 green. Creature Elephant. It's an 8/8 with trample. Other creatures you control have trample. Go put it in the deck. Put it in the deck. You're going to go put it in your commander deck. Rampaging Baloths is a 4 colorless, 2 green creature beast, trample, landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may create 4 beast creature token again. Go put it in the deck. Put it in the deck. This will go in your commander deck. Vizier of the Menagerie is our first mythic here in green. Is a 3 colorless, 1 green creature snake cleric. Okay, that's a lot of things going on. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. You can spend mana of any type to cast creature spells. This would be a really fun commander, if I'm being honest with you. Do a lot of fun stuff, but I don't see it making its way into standard. Next up is Primeval Bounty. 5 colorless, 1 green enchantment. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 3/3 beast creature token. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put 3 1/1 counters on target creature control. And then it also has a landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you gain 3 life. Put it in the deck. Put it in the deck. I'm losing my voice. I can't hit the high notes anymore. This would be a super fun commander card. I don't think it's going to make it into standard in any way, but it's a lot of fun. Oh, and that means, friends, we have made it to the end. If you've made it this far in the video, you might as well like, subscribe, leave a comment, right? It helps your boy out. And your boy is trying to qualify for the Pro Tour in the next 5 years. And so the content you find on this channel is all going to be Magic related. It's going to be documenting that journey, everything from constructed to limited formats to Magic the Gathering news and other pieces that we make in and around Magic the Gathering will all be found here on this channel. So if you enjoy Magic the Gathering content, follow along, come hang out with us. And until next time, we'll catch you at the table. Perfect. And everybody hanging out on the live stream, do the same. Follow if you're on Twitch. Subscribe if you're on LinkedIn. Not LinkedIn. Wow, it's getting late. Yes, subscribe if you're on LinkedIn, please. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment, hit the like button. All of that's fun. And there's a free way for you to help the channel. But we are going to keep cooking. Let's see how many we have in colorless. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there's 20 in the colorless or the multicolor, and then in colorless there's 3. All right, so there's 20 as well in the colorless. And then for the lands, Oh, then we got Scrylands too. Interesting. Then a few more of those. Cool. We're almost there, friends. All right, we got 20 to get through in multicolor. That will be one video, and then we have 20 of colorless to get through, and then colorless and lands will be all in one video together. So let's just do the thing. Let's keep cooking. We're making good progress here. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another Foundation set review. This time we are covering the direct to constructed / standard cards. We've already covered all of the play booster cards, so the ones that you'll be using in your limited formats, so draft and sealed formats. And when it comes to this Foundation set review 2.0, we've already covered white, black, blue, red, and green. Now we are on to multicolored. So let's go ahead and take a look at multicolor. The way we're going to do this is we're going to look at them in increasing CMC cost and increasing rarity. Multicolor gets a little weird. So as far as like how they organize that, but all that to be said, we're going to make our way through all of these multicolor cards, and we're going to talk about whether or not we're going to see them in standard, or at least I think I might see them in standard. I have no clue. I'm figuring it out as I go along. I'm comparing it to what I see, and I mostly see top decks. I mostly see the top constructed decks, the ones that are played frequently in Arena, as well as ones that are played in paper. I do a lot of study because we've just switched over to the standard RCQ season. So that's where I'm basing this experience on. I miss some here and there. If you see some and you're in the live chat, let me know. But if I make a comment on one in this video, feel free to leave a comment below and let me know otherwise. But the first up that we have is our white-blue representative. It's Cloud Blazer, 3 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue. It's a creature human scout 2/2. It's flying. When this creature enters, you gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. I don't think we're going to see it in standard. It's a fun card, though. Next up is Drogskull Reaver. It's a 5 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue, and this is going to be at the rare rarity. It's a 3/5 creature spirit with flying and double strike and lifelink. Whenever you gain life, draw a card. This could be a fun one for me to pitch into my Indomitable Rex commander deck, but I don't think we're going to see it in standard. It's just too expensive. Garna Bloodfist of Keld is 1 colorless, 1 black, 2 red. It's a legendary creature, human berserker. It's a 4/3. Whenever another creature you control dies, draw a card. If it was attacking, otherwise, Garna deals 1 damage to each opponent. This is fun. I don't know if we're gonna see this in like a Rakdos deck or anything like that, but it's a fun card. You might put it in your Rakdos commander deck. Immersturm Predator is a 2 colorless, 1 black, 1 red at rare. It is a creature vampire dragon. Okay. That's terrifying. I didn't know we could have vampire dragons. And like, aren't dragons just like innately vampires? Aren't any like carnivorous large creature just innately vampiric? Because they like live off of, well, they technically live off meat, but that meat is soaked in blood and usually bone and other creature, right? So like, what is the functional difference between a large carnivorous animal and a vampire, other than maybe like exposure to the sun, weakness, and garlic? I mean, a stake through the heart is going to kill anything, really. I don't know. Let's make the most terrifying creature in the world even more terrifying and make it a vampire, is what just happened here. But it is a flying 3/3. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard and put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Sacrifice another creature. This creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. This is actually a really fun card. I could see this being a commander, which is really fun because it's both a vampire and a dragon. So you could make a vampire dragon commander Rakdos deck. That would be intense. I don't think we're gonna see standard play out of this, but it is a lot of fun. Maybe in a Rakdos sacrifice deck. There are Rakdos sacrifice decks going around. I don't know if any of them have made it really high push into standard, but they're definitely floating around arena. Next up is Savage Ventmaw. It's 4 colorless, 1 red, 1 green creature dragon. It's a 4/4 flying. Whenever this creature attacks, add 3 red and 3 green until end of turn. You don't lose this mana as phases end. Nice. Steps and phases. But it is until end of turn. So it goes through the steps and phases, but you do lose it at end of turn. This is a great commander card. Give you that ramp. It's pretty sweet, but I don't see this making its way into standard. Next up is Halana and Elena, partners. It is a 2 colorless, 1 red, 1 green legendary creature human rager. It's 2/3, has first strike, reach, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, put X/1/1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is Halana and Elena's power. That creature gains haste until end of turn. I had to sneeze. I think this is already being played in standard, so I would imagine that this would continue to be played in standard. I don't think this is making any like top decks for at all. It definitely makes its way into commander, but yeah, we might see it here and there in like B or C tier decks. All right, let's carry on and stop sneezing, hopefully. Dryad Militant. You can pay white or green, and it's a creature Dryad Soldier for 2/1. And if an instant or sorcery card would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Very interesting. Good counter card, but I don't think we're going to see it in standard play. Next up is Unflinching Courage. 1 colorless, 1 green, 1 white is an enchantment aura. Enchant creature gets +2/+2 and has trample and lifelink. Now there is an enchantment deck that's out there that's pretty competitive, but I think it's not in these colors, so it might struggle. Next up is Wilt Leaf Liege. You can pay 1 colorless and 3 either green or whites. And it's a creature elf knight, and it's a 4/4. Other green creatures you control get +1/+1. Other white creatures you control get +1/+1. If a spell or ability you put in control causes you to discard a card, put it onto the battlefield instead of putting it into your graveyard. So this might work well for elves. So you might see some play if somebody makes a really fun elf deck. Next up is Mortify. We'll definitely see this one in any Orzhov deck. This is pretty solid. 1 colorless, 1 white, 1 black. Destroy target creature or enchantment. It's really solid. Ailey, Eternal Pilgrim, is 1 white, 1 black, legendary creature. It's a core cleric, death touch 2/3. You can pay 1, sacrifice another creature. You gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. Or you can pay 1 colorless, 1 white, 1 black, sacrifice another creature, exile target non-land permanent, activate only if you have at least 10 or more life than your starting life total. Really fun commander card. Like it could even be a commander. I don't know if you're going to see it in standard because you're not really ever going to see the use of that second ability. So it really just becomes a 2 CMC death touch 2/3 with maybe the ability to sack something and get a little bit of extra health. So I doubt we're going to see it in standard. Next up is Teach by Example. So it's 2 blue and or reds. And it's an instant. And when you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for this. So I think there is a lot of opportunity with Foundations to do some really interesting is it things. Not necessarily like is it Phoenix level is it things, but there's some really interesting like spell recursion things that are going on. I mean, we could even potentially see like an is it burn deck, which would be interesting. So if you did this and like cast this, when you next cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell, you may choose new targets. So like I could cast a kicked That'd be interesting. I wonder if I could cast a kicked, what is it? Burst Lightning. So pay 5 or pay 2 for this, and then pay 5, and then so for 6, or that'd be 7, do 8 damage. Maybe. There may be some interesting things that you could do with teach by example. So I'm putting a strong, it's plausible. This is getting a plausible, maybe, teach by example. Next up is Enigma Drake. It is 1 colorless, 1 blue, 1 red creature Drake. It is a star power and 4 toughness. It's flying, and Enigma Drake's power is equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Like I said, there's some really interesting things you could do. I think potentially there's an is it play here for a competitive deck, and this could potentially make it in there. Ovika Enigma Goliath. Interesting. 5 colorless, 1 blue, 1 red. Legendary creature, Phyrexian Nightwear. It's a flying 6/6, ward 3, pay 3 life. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create X/1/1 red Phyrexian Goblin creature tokens, where X is the mana value of that spell. They gain haste until end of turn. This would be a great commander. This would be fun. This would be fun in commander and just in general. But I don't think we're going to see standard play out of this one. Next up is Deadly Brew. 1 black, 1 green. Each player sacrifices a creature or a planeswalker of their choice. If you sacrifice a permanent this way, you may return another permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. I think potentially you could see some play in a Golgari deck, getting something back into your hand. Return another permanent card. So you could definitely pull in anything, right? It doesn't just have to be a creature. So I definitely think this is going to see some play. Next up is Maelstrom Pulse. 1 colorless, 1 black, 1 green. Sorcery, destroy target non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent. Maybe. It's an interesting removal. This is a plausible maybe. Next up is Boros Charm. 1 red, 1 white. It's choose 1. Deal 4 damage to a target player or planeswalker. Permanents you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. This is a great commander card. We do see it in a lot of like precons and things like that. I don't know if we're going to see this in standard. I don't think we will, but it's nice, but I don't think we will. Aurelia, the Ward Leader, is 2 colorless, 2 red, 2 white, legendary creature, angel, 3/4, flying, vigilance, and haste. And then when Aurelia attacks for the first time each turn, untap all creatures you control after this phase. There's an additional combat phase. Super expensive, but would be a ton of fun as a commander, especially in like an angel deck. And but the crappy part is you need to have some way to protect this thing, because if it dies next time you try to play it, the thing is going to cost you 8 mana to get back out. Could be just fun to have in an angel deck in general, but I don't think you're going to see this in standard. Next up is the Trigon Predator. Okay, it looks like a weird horse with a stingray. Anyways, is a 1 colorless, 1 green, 1 blue creature beast, 2/3 flying. When this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may destroy target artifact enchantment that player controls. This would be a stellar commander card, but we're not going to see it in standard. Prime Speaker Zagana. 2 colorless, 2 green, 2 blue, legendary creature, merfolk wizard. It's a 1/1. When Prime Speaker Zagana enters with X/1/1 counters on it, where X is the greatest power among other creatures you control. When Prime Speaker Zagana enters, draw cards equal to its power. This is great commander card. Put this out there. You have some green stompy, big, Gigantosaurus out there. This is going to come out as an 11/11, and then you get to draw 10 or 11 cards. Like, it's sweet commander card. Like, play it in commander. And that, my friends, will bring us to the end of Multicolor. If you've made it this far in the video, you might as well do the thing. Like, subscribe, follow along on this journey as this guy tries to live out his dream and qualify for the Pro Tour in the next 5 years. That's what this channel is all about, documenting that journey, learning, getting better, and creating content along the way to show you what it's like to learn the game and go deeper and wider in this crazy game called Magic the Gathering. I really appreciate you hanging out with us today, and go check out the rest of the videos if you haven't. If you jumped in at the multicolor, weird, but you know, that's cool. Go check out all the other colors. We have one more left to film. We're going to cover the colorless and the lands in the direct to standard / direct to constructed set in Foundation. So until next time, we'll catch y'all at the table. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Making progress, people. If you're here in the live stream, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out. I need to blow my nose real quick after sneezing a bunch. All right, we're back. Whoo! Hey, Loki899, the trickiest. How do you think Boros Charm won't see play in a format where Lightning Helix is legal? Let's go look at Boros Charm again. All right, here's Boros Charm. It is deal 4 damage, permanents you control gain indestructible until end of turn, and target creature gain double strike until end of turn. So I'm assuming the argument you're putting out there is that because Lightning Helix does 3 damage, you gain 3 life, and you want the protection from Boros Charm, I'm assuming. It's just weird, no shade. No worries. It's good to talk about it. So I see what you're saying. It could protect a card for 2, but there are other protection spells that are cheaper for like 1, for instance. This does give you choices though, so it gives you the ability to do 4 damage or protect a card or just make something double strike. I mean, I could see it. I could definitely upgrade it to plausible, from no play to plausible. The only thing I'm thinking about is like, what are the top Boros decks right now, you know, in standard? Yeah, Boros Burn is going to be insane. You think? Because I've been playing around with this deck. I've been playing around with a Gruul Burn deck. I mean, a lot of this is going to work the same. So Bolt Wave, Burst Lightning, Lightning Strike, Shock are all going to be in a Boros Burn deck. And then, you know, throw in a Boros Charm. I could do another 4 damage to a player or planeswalker. Is there some other white spells that, or Boros spells that can do direct damage? I guess basically you could just run this deck and then instead of playing Questing Druid, play Boros Charm. Work. You are losing 4 creatures though, and bumping it up to 24 spells. Oh yeah, Helix. Is Helix Lightning Helix? Any target. It is any target, so it's not just target creature. Okay. So you're thinking straight burn, like no secondary plan of creature, because if we did Boros Charm and Lightning Helix, just trying to think. Like, would you even have a secondary plan? Burn with Swiftly and Nemesis mostly. Maybe Slick Shot instead. Yeah, we got Slick Shot. I mean, it's just a lot of 1-drops here. And this gives you the card draw, though. I mean, like, I guess you could keep Questing Druid in there. For just the red side. But I think there's other cards that will allow you to see, like, the next 2 cards. And the 3 damage sweepers. Oh, yeah. Where's Get Lost? Destroy target creature, enchantment, or planeswalker's controller creates 2 map tokens. Yeah, Get Lost is pretty good. Get put together a deck list for me of your idea of a Boros burn deck. I'd love to see it. I think it's going to be pretty similar to this. Add in the Boros charms. You know, Get Lost for some removal. Like, do you run any creatures? I mean, like, you could honestly probably fill it with pretty close to no creatures. And go true burn. Just go with, like, burn and control. That would be fun. That'd be interesting. Yeah, just message me on Twitch. And I'd love to see what you come up with. Because I've been looking at this would be my Gruul burn deck. Then I have a Gruul aggro deck that I was also looking at. And this would be my Gruul aggro deck. It goes with the mouse combo, the Emberheart Challenger, and the Heartfire Hero. And then Monastery Swift Spear, Questing Druid, the Slick Shots. This was sort of the one I was looking at for aggro. I really wasn't just like, this dude is crazy. No worries. Like, I didn't really think about Boros aggro, but that makes sense. You put in the Boros charm with the Lightning Helix. I keep forgetting about Lightning Helix. That's a really good idea. I really want to see if I can make a burn deck work in paper. I think it would be fun. Just for old time's sake. There's a person that was in this chat. I'm Joe One. He knows. We used to do cafeteria table magic, and I used to rock a burn deck back in the day. 20 years ago now. So it would be interesting to take a look at that. So yeah, throw that my way if you wouldn't mind. That would be really interesting. All that to be said, we have colorless to go through. What's our first colorless one? So we're going to do colorless and the lands in one review. And that should be fine. So we should have 20 colorless to do. And then we have the lands. And we have all the tap lands. And then we're going to have some special lands like Uncharted Haven, Demolition Field, Cryptic Caves, Crawling Barrens. And then we get into the Scry lands. Then we have all those color combination. And then it ends with Maze's End. That's it. And then we will have completed all of these drafts, or all of these set reviews. Cool. Let me drink some water. Rest the voice for a second. And then let's get to work, friends. Let's get to work. Side cam. Then we'll go queue up our tab here and get started. What's up, everybody, and welcome to my final Foundations set review video. This time we are covering all of the colorless and land cards left in the direct to constructed / direct to standard cards. We already did a whole series on all of the play booster cards that came out. Those are the ones you're going to be using in limited, so your sealed and your draft. These cards are also coming out with Foundations, also going to be available for the next 5 years, but are not going to be in that draft or limited format. So it's still important to know them. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at each one of them and see if we think it's going to end up in standard in any way. I might be completely wrong. If you think I'm wrong, leave a comment below. And if you're in the live chat, then, you know, let me know as well. We've already had some really healthy conversation about a couple cards. People brought up some really good ideas. Some people reminded me it's already being used in standard competitive. It's fine. I'm probably going to be wrong from here and there. I want to know. I'm learning. I made this declaration this past summer, so summer of 2024, that I wanted to try to go pro in Magic the Gathering in the next 5 years and by qualifying for the Pro Tour. So this is part of my learning process, is researching these cards. So I'm learning these right alongside of everybody else, but at the same time, trying to be entertaining and bring you guys a little content, a little easy way to watch a quick video and see the cards that are coming up. So next, the first one that we have on our list is Goblin Firebomb. One colorless, it's an artifact, it has flash, and then you can pay 7, tap it, sacrifice this artifact, destroy target permanent. It is just way too slow. You might put it into a commander deck. You might be able to do some fun stuff. You need extra artifacts. But yeah, it's just going to be too slow, in my opinion. Next up is Expedition Map. It's one colorless. It's an artifact. You pay 2, tap it, sacrifice this artifact, search your library for a land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. This is a maybe, like maybe in like a domain deck. I would say plausible. It's going to go in the plausible / maybe category. Definitely has a place in commander decks, but we're not going to see it with any consistency, I think, in standard. So we're going to go with plausible. Next up is 3 tree mascots, 2 colorless, artifact, creature, shapeshifter, changeling, 1, add 1 mana, pay 1, add 1 mana of any color, activate only once each turn. It's a 2/1. So this was actually a fun card in draft in Bloomborough. I did like it there. So I don't think we're going to see it in standard play. It would be a fun commander card, especially in like in any tribe-based deck. But at the same time, like I said, it was a fun draft card. Like it was draftable, but I don't think we're going to see it in standard. And since it's not in the draft set, you're not going to draft this one. Next up is Pirate's Cutlass. Is a 3 colorless artifact equipment. When this equipment enters, attach it to target pirate you control. The equipped creature gets +2/+1, and the equip cost is 2. So this can, when it first comes in, equip directly to a pirate. Otherwise, it's pay 2, so it's a 5 cost to like equip it to a non-pirate. So a non-tribal, it's just too limited. It's tribal. It'd be fun in tribal like pirate deck if you came up with a pirate deck, but yeah, I think it's just going to be too limiting. Next up is Felden's Cane. It's 1 colorless artifact. Exile this artifact. Shuffle your graveyard into your library. I'd say plausible. Unlikely, but plausible. Soul Guide Lantern. So we see this in Modern. This was definitely a reprint. This is great. Graveyard hate. When this artifact enters, exile target card from your graveyard. From a graveyard, sacrifice this artifact, exile each opponent's graveyard, and then you also have pay 1, sacrifice this artifact, draw a card. So this is nice. Get out there. I can exile a card from a graveyard. So say I'm playing that white-blue recursion deck with the Aberrant Oculus and the Haughty Djinn. So I could play this, exile an Aberrant out of the graveyard, and then if they ever pitch anything else in there, I could sacrifice this and then blow up the whole graveyard. So that it could also just completely cripple a Haughty Jin, who gets its strength from its power from the number of instants and sorceries in the graveyard. So I definitely think we're going to see this as a counterplay. We might see a mix between like this and Ghost Vacuum for graveyard hate. So I definitely think we're going to see it. I mean, I did play it in one version of my modern deck, so I don't see why we wouldn't play it in standard either. Diamond Mare is a 2 colorless artifact creature horse. As this creature enters, choose a color. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen color, you gain 1 life. It's a 1/3. I doubt we're going to see it in standard. It's a fun little card to go in like a life gain deck. You might see somebody play it in a life gain deck that they're playing around in arena, but it's not going to be super competitive. Next up is Sorceress Spyglass. Is a 2 colorless artifact. As this artifact enters, look at an opponent's hand, then choose any card name. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. Activated abilities of sorcerers with chosen, like, this is a good counterplay. Like if you played this and they had a Glissas, if you played this and they had a Shieldrids, like it's any Planeswalker, Aberrant Oculus, like all of those are activated abilities. So, or that's a triggered ability. That's not an activated ability. So triggered abilities are different than activated abilities. So shut off Planeswalkers. Wait, are triggered abilities different than activated abilities? Actually, I think that would work. This would, I definitely say we're gonna see this one. This turns off a lot of cards, and I like it. So I think we're gonna play. We're gonna see it as a sideboard card for sure. Next up is Fire Shrieker 3 artifact equipment. Equipped creature has double strike, and then equip 2. And I don't think we're gonna see this one. This is a fun commander card, but I don't think we're gonna see it in standard. Hedron Archive is a 4 colorless artifact. You can tap it for 2 colorless, or you can pay 2, tap this, sacrifice this artifact, draw 2 cards. Definitely a commander card. Don't think we're gonna see it in standard. Yeah, I just don't think we're gonna see it in standard. Gate Colossus, artifact creature construct for 8 colorless. It's an 8/8. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each gate you control. This creature can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Whenever a gate you control enters, you may put this card from your graveyard on top of your library. Again, I mentioned this earlier. I think I'm too new. I don't know what gates are. I haven't seen a gate card. So, this is really just an 8/8 for 8. This creature can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. So it's got to block with their big boys. I don't think we're going to see it in standard. Next up is Basilisk Collar. Is 1 colorless artifact equipment. Equipped creature has Death Touch and Lifelink, and then it's equipped to, I'd say plausible, doubtful, but plausible. It's cheap enough, and then it gives something Death Touch and Lifelink. Like, it just makes your fodder essentially removal. Just leave it up, block it, kill things, get a little bit of life. Like, plausible. Maze Mine Tomb, 2 colorless artifact. Put a page counter on this artifact by tapping it, and then you scry 1. Pay 2, tap it, put a page counter on this artifact, draw a card. When there are 4 or more page counters on this artifact, exile it. If you do, gain 4 life. I don't think we're going to see it in standard, but that's a fun, could go in a fun like life gain deck for commander. I like the border on this. It's like rivets. Is Cultivator's Caravan for 3 colorless artifact vehicle. Add 1 mana of any color, and it's a crew 3 of 5/5. I would say plausible. Plausible. We could see it in like a tribe deck, go wide, crew it. You got a 5/5. It can tap for any color, so it gives you some ramping. So I'd say plausible. Adaptive Automaton is 3 colorless artifact creature construct. It's a 2/2. As this creature enters, choose a creature type. This creature is the chosen type in addition to its other types. Other creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1. If this goes into a tribal deck, like I said, elves might actually do something. You could make potentially an elf deck or a human deck that this would make sense in. So I would say plausible. Gilded Lotus, 5 colorless. Add 3 mana of any one color. Definitely a commander card. I don't think we're going to see it in standard, though. Steel Hellkite is a 6 mana, 5/5 flying. This creature gets +1 and +0 until end of the turn if you pay 2. And then if you pay X, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X whose controller was dealt damage by this creature this turn. Activate only once each turn. This is interesting. So you can essentially make this as big as you want, smack an opponent, and then pay X and kill anything with X or below. Great commander card. I don't think we're going to see it in standard. It's already a commander card. It's been around. I know I've seen this one. Pyromancer's Goggles, hanging out on Chandra's head. Is a 5 colorless legendary artifact. You can tap it to add 1 red. When that mana is spent to cast a red instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for that copy. It's not fast enough. I would love to put something like this in like a burn deck, but you wouldn't be able to. Maybe if you made like a burn commander deck, that would be fun. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna see it in standard. It's fun. I like the idea. Yeah, Goggles are goated in EDH. Yeah, for sure. I could see him being goated. Now it makes me want to make a burn commander deck. And see if I could do that. That would be funny. Next up is Ramos Dragon Engine. It's a 6 colorless legendary artifact creature dragon. It's a 4/4 with flying. Whenever you cast a spell, put +1/+1 counter on Ramos for each of that spell's colors. Remove 5 1/1 counters from Ramos. Add 2 white, 2 blue, 2 black, 2 red, 2 green. Activate only once each turn. This is an amazing commander card. This is fun. Does a lot of stuff. I don't think you're gonna see it in standard. Maybe in like the Domain Overlords deck, like it could do something. Because every time you cast a card in Domain's Overlord, like it's gonna come out as 5 colors. Well, not every time, but it could come out as 5 colors, and then you remove this and get a bunch of land. So like maybe plausible. I would put a very tentative plausible in some Domain decks. Next up is Darksteel Colossus. It is 11 colorless for an 11/11 trample indestructible. If Darksteel Colossus would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal Darksteel Colossus and shuffle it into the owner's library instead. Great commander card. I don't think we're going to see it in standard though. And then that finishes the colorless. So now we are going to also do the lands. Lands are going to be a little quicker because we're going to have a series of tapped lands we'll go through. So obviously we're going to have the Boros Guildgate. For us here is the red and white. We have the Dimir. Oh, so these are the gates. Okay, these are the gates. That makes sense. These are the gates. These are the gates that we're talking about. I had no idea. Okay, now that Colossus, where is he? This guy. 1 less to cast for each gate you control. So if the lands you control are gates, then you could get this for free if you had 8 of those. Duh. Never knew that. Okay. So you have your Boros Guildgate, you have your Dimir Guildgate, you have your Golgari Guildgate, you have your Gruul Guildgate, your Izzet Guildgate, your Orzhov Guildgate, your Rakdos Guildgate, your Selesnya Guildgate, your Simic Guildgate, your Azorius Guildgate, and that would complete all of your tap lands, your tap dual lands. And then we get into a couple special lands. We have Uncharted Haven. This land enters tapped. As it enters, choose a color, add 1 mana of any chosen color. Great for mana fixing. Demolition Field, great for mana destruction. There's a lot of these like creature lands, so being able to destroy those. It's already played in standard, so it's still a good add for counterplay to those creature lands. Cryptic Cave, you could tap it for 1 colorless or pay 1 and tap it, sacrifice this land, draw a card. Activate only if you control 5 or more lands. I think this is interesting. Card draw if you need it, but I don't know if we're going to see a lot of play out of this one. Crawling Barrens. You can tap it for 1 colorless. You can pay 4. Put 2 1/1 counters on this land. Then you may have it become a 0/0 elemental creature until end of turn. It's still a land. So this is a land that could grow to any size, which is crazy. Pay 4, put the 2 1/1 counters on it. Do it again another turn if you have some extra mana to spend. And you can start getting this thing nice and big and swing with it. So we might see some play out of this one. And then now we get into all of our scry dual lands. So Temple of Triumph is going to be our red-white. Temple of Mystery is going to be our green-blue. Temple of Plenty is going to be our green-white. We have Temple of Silence, which is going to be our white-black. Temple of Enlightenment, which is going to be our white-blue. Temple of Epiphany, which is going to be our blue-red. Temple of Malady is going to be our black-green. Temple of Malice is our black-red. And then Temple of Abandon is our red-green. And then Temple of Deceit is our blue-black. And then we get to Maze's End, which I do believe is our final card. And this land enters tap. You can tap it to add a colorless. You could pay 3, tap it, return this land to its owner's hand, search your library for a gate card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. You control 10 or more gates with different names. You win the game. Very interesting. Don't know. I mean, somebody could make a win con, like a combo deck or something like that, to try to put this. So I'd put a very light plausible. The fact it's not only as a sorcery, yeah, that's crazy too. And that, my friends, completes our journey through part 1 and part 2 of our Foundations set review, where we covered everything in the play boosters, and we covered everything in the direct to standard and direct to constructed cards. And with that, we have now finished our set review and first impressions of all standard legal cards that Foundations is going to bring us for the next 5 years. So I appreciate you hanging out with us, making it through this journey with us and all the way to the end. If you've made it this far, you might as well do the thing. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. It helps the algorithm, and it's the easiest and cheapest way you can help a content creator get his content out there and help grow his channel. And follow this guy along as he tries to live out his dream and become a pro Magic the Gathering player in the next 5 years. But until next time, we'll catch you all at the table. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We have officially finished our set review. What a wild ride. We've had a good stream day. We had 2 streams today. So I took a break for dinner, but we went through like 6-7 hours of streaming. Can I post a link? I slapped a Boros list down. You should be able to. If it doesn't let you post a link, let me know. And then I'll take a look at it. Yo, no, I appreciate you asking. Okay. Let's take a look. Four 9 4 8 8. Alrighty, let's take a look. Make it a little bit bigger. And visual view. There we go. Okay. All right, so we're running the Monastery Swiftspear. We got a Yotane Frontliner with Unearth. And then Slick Shot, Show Off, Screaming Nemesis. Then you're running a Bolt Wave, Burst Lightning, a Boros Charm, a Lightning Helix, a Lightning Strike, Ren's Resolve, Exile the top 2 cards of your library until end of turn. You may play those cards. Okay. Then we're running the Pain lands, I don't know what these lands are called, but the two or fewer other lands. You got some mountains, the Thran Portal, and plains. Okay. And then sideboarding, you have Destroy Evil, some Get Lost, the Urabrask Forge, Elspeth Smite, and Slagstorm. Okay. Interesting. The only question... I don't know why. I mean, I guess since it has prowess, yeah, you would want prowess. Literally your first stab at it. Check lands. Yeah, I'm checking the lands out. Tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. Oh, they're check lands. That's what they're called. Okay. As Thran enters the battlefield, choose a battlefield type. Thran Portal is chosen type in addition, so it's other types. Mana abilities of Thran Portal cost an additional. All right. So why the Thran Portal? We ran out of good lands, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, you might put in the, what is that? It's the white red land that turns into the bull that every time it attacks it gets a +1/+1 counter. Give you an additional creature, a little something. I forget what that's called. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good little. I do like the Screaming Nemesis. But then there was also... this guy, Gutter Snipe. I think you could take out Screaming Nemesis. Like, the advantage of Screaming Nemesis is obviously that it has this ability where it turns off life gain. There's not a ton of life gain going on in Standard right now. So if you truly wanted to go to burn for the same cost, we have Gutter Snipe. And then it's whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it does an additional 2 damage to each opponent. So if you have Gutter Snipe out there, that's a 3/3 versus this is a 2/2 as well. But you're just doing an extra. Yeah, it dies to absolutely everything. That's true. But Screaming Nemesis isn't that far off either. It's a 3/3. Like, most things do 3 damage. And the thing, well, I guess the thing that Nemesis has is that it's above cut down. Like, it's cut down proof. That's about it. Yeah, but the damage from blocking, it's like a burn spell on legs. That's true. If you block something with Screaming Nemesis and then... yeah, that's fair. And then I like Slick Shot because of the prowess. Oh, we got an ad break. Sorry. We'll just hang out. We'll hang out. We're not gonna discuss anything until the ad break's done. don't know where is all this water being housed. Every time I drink this thing, it spills a little bit on me. All right, everybody should be back. So we don't like to do much during an ad break, so we just throw this screen up and we chill here until the ad break's done. So let's go back to what we were doing. But yes, the defender with anytime it takes damage. So whenever Screaming Nemesis is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any other target. If a player is dealt damage this way, they can't gain life. Yeah, I mean, using it as a defender is pretty nice. Plus it has haste. Yeah, I think you keep it for sure. If everything goes to plan, it should be 16 damage by turn 4. That's like gold fishing, of course. Yeah. I do like Ren's Resolve. It gets you the additional card draw. What was the other one? Demonic. Yardex, Standard, the Gruul Burn. Questing Druid. So Questing Druid, that's a 2-sided card. Ren's Resolve is just straight black and gives you the same thing. So it gives you the red side of Questing Druid. Yeah, sideboard will need work. I mean, I would put Graveyard Hate in the sideboard. Urbasks is fine. Twisted Fealty is really interesting too, because you could take control of a card and then put a Wicked Roll token on it, which makes it gets a +1/+1. Or the Wicked Roll tone, it just makes it like a 1/1, I think. Yeah, Vacuum's gonna be good. Lantern's gonna be good as well for Graveyard Hate. Soul Guide Lantern is another option for Graveyard Hate. Ghost Vacuum's nice because it gives you more aggro, right? So you could pop it essentially and then have a bunch of creatures. So that's why Ghost Vacuum's really nice. Blooming Blast is also kind of interesting. You can gift them a treasure and do 2 damage to a target creature. If the gift was promised, Blooming Blast also deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. So you could do an extra 3 damage to them just for a treasure. If I'm ever making a turn to turn 6, I'm in trouble. Yeah, that's so the problem with burn decks. Win fast, lose fast. Paw Patch Formation's also decent, but that's green. That's not gonna make sense in the Boros. Blooming Blast, though, for a berm deck definitely makes sense. You might want to put that in the sideboard. I do like that. You just maybe ping something out and kill it, but also it's just two mana for 3 damage, which is the same as a lightning strike, plus it's 2 damage to something for giving him a treasure. But I like it. This is, I think, really close. I'd probably swap out Thran Portal for that freaking, what is that bull? White, red. Land. Search. Oh. What the frick is the bowl? What was it called? Bruvac. Is that what it is? Nope. Did I mean Bruvac? Nope. Restless Bivouac. Yeah, I spelled that wrong. Bivouac. Bivouac. There you go. Restless Bivouac. I would probably drop the Thran for that. Maybe even put in like 2 of those. But yeah. The Yotai Frontliner. I like that this has prowess. I don't know. I'm torn whether or not you put the mouse, the 2/2 mouse with haste and prowess in the Yotai or the Yorion Frontliner spot, but I think the fact that it's a 1-drop is important. I like it. I like it. Yeah, it's sneaky good. The Unearth is nice. Just trying to think what I would drop. Definitely put in the Ghost Vacuum in the sideboard. I don't mind Get Lost being in the sideboard. I would look at maybe Blooming Blast in the sideboard. What else do we got here? Cruel Aggro. I mean, Torch the Tower's not bad either. Twisted Fealty. Witchstalker Frenzy. Witchstalker Frenzy is not bad either. If I was going to add the 2-mana mouse, I'd drop 4 of a burn spell. Because frontliner combos with it for card draw. Yeah, that was the thing. You could use the other mouse too, the Heartfire Hero. So Heartfire Hero combos with it as well, but I guess you'd probably want more card draw if you're doing burn. How many lands? That's 20 lands. And 16 creatures. Frenzy is mad, destroy evil or get lost, doesn't do anything. Yeah. That's better. Yeah. I don't know. If we're going burn, I would say keep all the burn spells. So this is pretty good. It's fun. You see the hamster wheel going. Yeah, I'm just trying to poke a hole in it if I can, but I can't find a hole. It's pretty good. Like there's some interesting stuff that you could do down here, like maybe having Yotan or Yorian. Is it Yorian or Yotian? Yotian and the Heartfire Hero, because then that would trigger. But then that's like really the only trigger unless you threw in like a rock face village into your lands. But then you're really limited on triggers, right? Like Heartfire Hero works really well in aggro because there's things like Monstrous Rage and Snakeskin Veil and you know, the Demonic Ruckus, and then this does have a rock face village in there. Like so it has several ways to target it, making it take advantage of the +1/+1 counters. So I don't think you have as many ways. So I think sticking with things that have prowess is really nice, because now if I'm bolt waving and burst lightning, this gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's why I like Slick Shock Show Off being in there, because every time you cast that spell, you get +2/+0. Was there any interesting Boros cards? This one is interesting, but we had the Boros Charm. No. I don't think there was really any interesting white cards either. In the new set. I really wanted to slam a couple Arabellas. Hermo sold to take her out. Yeah, I bought a play set of Arabellas, but I haven't been able to use them yet. I was gonna try to use them in a version of Boros Energy in Modern that was running Arabellas with Delaney. Oh, I do have exercise. Good old exercise. Yeah. Arabellas would be interesting, but I don't think it's gonna work. I like what you have though. I can't wait till these cards are released so that I can start playtesting a burn deck. So I like Frontliner so much because it helps me on attack, get stuff out, cut down with one spell instead of two, and it makes a huge difference. I didn't even see Knight of Grace got reprinted. Knight of Grace got reprinted? Hexproof from black. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the top decks right now are Dimir and Golgari. So, like I said, I think I put this one as plausible. That's just where I landed, but yeah, I'm not seeing anything super interesting. I like it. I like it. I would say strong work. Maybe some fixing on the sideboard, drop Thrain for Bivouac, and then maybe drop another mountain for Bivouac as well. Run 2 Bivouacs, and then I think the rest of it's solid. We definitely got to fix the sideboard though. There's probably keep a couple of those, but drop a lot of them. Like maybe keep Get Lost and Destroy Evil. Irabas Forge, sure. Like if you need bodies for some reason. But I don't think you need Elspeth. If you're going to have Get Lost and Destroy Evil. Like that's just a ton of removal. I think you need to start like counter planning. So like Ghost Vacuum, maybe more ways to do your instead of Slag Storm, I would do your deck. Nope. Your deck's standard. Gruber. The Blooming Blast, they're a little cheaper and give you 2 damage to a creature as well as 3 damage to a controller. So it's pretty sweet. Even though, I mean, Schlagstorm is nice because like it kills Glissa, and Glissa's a pain in the ass. It also kills the 4/3 enduring blue card. It's which is nice, but you have a lot of ways to do 3 damage. But all that to be said, it's late. I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing that. I'm actually going to save this deck. And take a look at it and see if I can tweak it as well and see if we come up with a cool Boros Burn deck. But I'm gonna call it. I want to try to edit some of these videos tonight and schedule those to get posted. I appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. If you haven't done so, consider following along. I stream Monday through Friday, usually somewhere between 7 and 8 a.m. Eastern time start, and I'll stream for 3 or 4 hours every morning. Right now, we're working our way through all of the World Championship decks that were played, doing standard arena events, and just playing a lot of standard right now. And then when Foundations comes out, we'll probably play around with drafting again, but for the most part, we're just going to be playing standard and having some fun. So I appreciate everybody hanging out, and we'll catch you all later.